Absolutely. I love open mode. It's probably when it first started, it was really your only choices was open mode and standard, and open mode is just it's so much different from your standard one. It feels almost like a completely different randomizer.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think that getting rid of the forced escape would change the routing so much, but it really has just a very large impact on the decisions you make. So already we can see DT starting with Cathedral, and Lou going to the side of the escape, gonna go loot his uncle's dead corpse and see what's there. And he steals the shirt. Steals the shirt off his back. That's cold. That's ice cold.
I mean, he doesn't need it for the time being. Somebody will get, your uncle back home. That way he can recover. But you got to get through the seed first before you get that happy ending.
I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. but yeah, you can't argue with those kinds of points. And Aghanim looking like not hard required yet. Looks like that was a 300 rupee in the back of the lumberjack cave there.
It was, and it was interesting. We saw DT running around the little bush sprite. Those guys, they have their items redisputed, so they're randomized. They can drop bombs, arrows, money. But unfortunately, he got nothing out of him.
Yeah, because it's open mode and you start with literally no resources, it's you kind of have to do everything at your disposal, and checking out the different drops and pull trees and those little crab guys. It could be crappy magic refills like Loogaroo just got, or it could be bombs, which are super useful early game. Alright, so we're going to be seeing DT. Looks like he's making a pretty standard loop into the top of Kakariko. Although of note, he does not have any bombs yet, so I think he's going to be either hoping to get some, or he's going to be spending those 50 rupees he got on some bombs.
I'd imagine that DT is somebody to go inside and just pick up the bombs and then work his way up through Kakariko.
Yeah, and it looks like you are 100% correct. Except he's taking a detour to the back of the tavern to grab a brewski and this chest.
Ooh.
And the ice rod.
We don't need to know if that's required yet, but that is amazing to see, just in case if it is. The hunt for the ice rod is...
Oops, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, the hunt for the ice rod is always a painful experience.
Ice rod's such a weird item. It's if Turtle Rock is required, it is a required item, but there's really no dependencies before it, so it's kind of has a weird logic. It can be pretty much anywhere except behind Trinex or in G Tower if it's a crystal.
Yeah, it is different indeed.
Also, I might have been crazy, but did DT just try to ice rod a chicken? Did that happen?
I think he did, and putting a chicken on ice. It's not a bad idea. You might need a nice meal for later after you defeat the boss.
Nothing wrong with little cuckoo McNuggets. Alright, Loogaroo picking up his ice rod, and we're seeing a pretty similar route here. He's taking his 50 rupees in to buy some delicious bombs as well. Maybe he's going to use the bombs to cook the frozen chicken. Or maybe I'm just really hungry.
I think you might be really hungry. In my defense, am very thirsty and hungry right now.
Yeah, I mean, were you doing anything important the last couple hours? I can't think of anything.
There's a few things that come to mind, but it feels almost like deja vu.
Yeah, that's really weird. You should probably see somebody about that.
I will. I'll get with my Matrix worker in the morning.
Not a whole lot exciting in the well behind Kakariko for DT. These runners have got some real similar pathing here, but that's to be expected. There are just a ton of chests in Kakariko, so it's worth running around and checking them all while you can.
Yeah, unfortunately, DT trying to get an item from a bottle merchant did not get what he wanted. Only got $20 back out of the $100 spent.
That's a pretty bad deal, really.
Well, maybe he's working for Blind back there in the dark world, just trying to fund his escapades. we do know that he hasn't been to the eye doctor in years. So, and King Zora is usually the one that's holding out all these kind of money.
Yeah, and the worst thing with King Zora is if even if he gives you the maximum amount of rupees possible, you're still getting hosed by 200 rupees.
Yeah, nobody likes getting hosed.
Most certainly not. Nothing too exciting in the library either. So it's a pretty dry scene in the beginning here on Ninnies. These are always frustrating because you're wondering, all right, where's the one key item that's going to send me on a trip somewhere else, and am I inevitably going to check it last?
Yeah, I'm willing to bet the DT is going to go to either the dam or Sahasrara because it doesn't really have a suitable weapon to go through all of Escape. You can use the Ice Rod, but the Ice Rod only kills the blue guards. The green guards, it just freezes them solid.
Yeah, I think this is a really damn good choice here.
See what you did there.
That's like, I'm giving that one a D-. And that's mostly because you showed up. But DT does have 8 bombs, and 1 shot of the Ice Rod should be more than enough to kill the mini Moldorums in the mini Moldorum cave. And see what the generous guy has. So I think this is definitely the statistically good choice on his part.
Seize the bow. You drain the dam for the bow. That's amazing.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty good deal. He'll have to let that sit out and dry, and then he'll be good to go.
You could almost say that's damn amazing.
See, I'm laughing because I also enjoyed my own jokes. So that was genuine laughter.
All right, so
we're interested to see if DT wants to route any craziness with fake flippers. I don't think we've seen the Overworld map yet, so I have a feeling we're going to see it pretty quickly after this, because he's going to see if he wants to go to Eastern or not. And those mini Moldorums giving DT the business.
Yeah, looking like he wants to save the bombs. Nope. Tired of their business.
Hey, a full magic refill. He's like, I'm going to pew cold.
He's used his entire arsenal in this room.
Oh my god! Oh, this is the best.
First try.
Ever. Meanwhile, Loogaroo is going to the eastern area, but unfortunately without the bow, it'll be interesting to see whether or not he decides to go very far into eastern.
DT getting some literacy at the end of that. How to use the whole arsenal just to get a book about war.
I'm really hoping chapter 1 on that book is how to aim your skill shots. Oh no, DT! I'm gonna assume that this was a death warp, so he could go back to his house and go to Eastern.
Yeah,
that
probably
was all planned, guys.
It has nothing to do with our jokes.
So DT looks like he is choosing to go to Escape in lieu of going to Eastern.
I mean, he's got the bow, he's got the Ice Rod, so he has plenty of ways to deal with these. I just hope that he freezes a guard. That is my favorite way of taking care of the ball and chain guard. Just 2 tosses with a frozen green guard. Ooh, looks like Loogaroo finding a bottle of blue goo. So Loogaroo's green goo. Man, I was hoping for a rhyme there, and it just didn't work out. I failed.
You know what? I appreciate the effort, and you know what? That just makes me more excited. There's 3 more bottles in this seed. One of them could be blue.
Let's hope that a blue Loogaroo can get himself a bottle of blue goo. Alliteration.
Oh, you're right. He better not find the red mail before that happens, or the dream will be dead. You know, I don't blame Loogaroo for heading into Eastern Palace without the bow. It is a pendant dungeon, so if he can find something good in the front of this, he won't feel super bad about not being able to clear it with the bow. Yeah, so it might kind of seem like a risky choice on the top of it, but I think it's not a terrible one.
Not at all. All I was going to say is it looks like our tracker sniped what the pendants and crystals are. It looks like Desert is a crystal, and Tower of Hera is the green pendant.
It's always interesting to see two pendants in the light world, because that means that your crystal dungeons are going to be a little bit longer and more intense, maybe.
All right, so far no lamp for Loogaroo here. It's gonna make that second part of that dark area a little bit scary if you choose to do that. And with only 5 hearts, oh, Moon Pearl. So the gamble wasn't a waste of time.
That's a really big pickup for Loogaroo there. Although I have a feeling that with the bow in hand, DT is going to be a little bit more inclined to go into Eastern than he would normally. We'll have to see how long it takes him to head in that direction. And since we are in open mode, the bottom of Zelda's dungeon here does not contain Zelda, just Zelda's chest. Oh, DT's doing it!
My hero.
Oh, hilarious. That's good stuff. That's down home cooking right there.
Downright disrespectful towards the enemies, though. I mean, for all we know, that could be the ball and chain guard's cousin, and just throwing him right in his face.
But maybe it's that really annoying cousin that no one really likes talking to at family gatherings.
You know, I've always wondered why my family never talked to me. Oh, now I feel bad.
Are they often feeding you frozen drinks, trying to freeze you? I would watch out for that.
And they make me sit at the kiddie table?
DT forgetting he does not have flippers there? I'm not sure what that was.
I mean, he has the ice rod. Maybe he was hoping that as he jumps in the water, it just creates a trail of ice that he can run across.
That sounds like the most amazing glitch I could think of. Alright, so we see these runners swapping places a little bit. It looks like Lug is gonna go back. He picked up his bow from the dam. And we'll see if he goes to Ice Rod Cave. Doesn't he fake flipper shenanigans here?
It looks like Luger got in the same situation as DT and just says, you know what? Let's just bomb these fools.
Chat is correcting me. It looks like that was a Lake Hylia Island item check. So thank you, chat.
I mean, I knew that. I just wanted to see if you guys knew that.
Yeah, you passed our test, chat. Good work. Make sure you keep taking notes. There'll be a test at the end of this, dude.
Yeah, it was planned. All according to plan.
Loogaroo makes it past the scary crabs and birds that unfortunately claimed DT's life. So we're going to get to see what's over in Ice Rod Cave here. Or not. He's doing the fake flipper setup.
Yes, I actually like this setup. I first saw Wolfie do it. It seems much more consistent than trying to punch your way over to that right correction. But since Loogaroo does have the Moon Pearl, can utilize this in order to do the Jesus Walk, as it's known. So for this setup, you have to go inside the waterfall, leave it, and you will be standing on water. So that way you can check these 2 chests.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid play. And interestingly, Luke decided to go straight here and not look at Lake Hylia or Hobo, I believe. So, and he is just 7 rupees short of Zora, so he is gonna head back.
Well, the good news is that he can still walk around like Lake Hylia.
Oh yeah.
So perhaps it was a choice made out of speed. You know, being able to walk on the water is a little bit faster. You don't glide around as much, so you can dodge more of the fireballs.
Yeah, definitely a lot more precise of control.
So we're gonna get a sequence break here, checking the Hobo.
Ooh, there's his Zora monies. If he wants it.
Yeah, I bet he waited, or he was, he's feeling bad that he didn't check Hobo first.
Probably a little bit, but, you know, he's already a little committed at this point.
Alright, so DT on the left here, gonna get himself a sweet Moon Pearl.
It'd be interesting to see if he chooses to, you know, do any more completion of this dungeon. If my count is correct, there's still 1 more item.
Looks like he's gonna go for it.
The dark room here is technically a sequence break as well, since they don't have access to the lamp yet, and we do not yet know where it is.
Plus, this is a much more scary to do without any sort of detection of where you are. He's using the bow, but he does run out of arrows after a while. Gets the key, gets the pot for an extra heart increase. Look at him go.
That
Gets
was well
out.
done by DT there.
Yeah, gets out with only just one little hit.
The real test, though, will be the scary room further back in Eastern if he decides to go that far.
Oh yeah, if he wants to complete it.
He just
Ooh.
might.
I think he's going for it. He refilled himself.
Grab that heart. This is one of the tougher dark rooms in my opinion. Just because of how random the enemies can move. Definitely can use the bow for a setup, but it is by no means free.
Yeah, I mean, you have the pokies in the beginning, but you know, if you don't get the Igor first try, you're just gonna get beat up.
Oh, he got him.
Got it. All right, he needs to find the pot.
The trickiest pot. Oh, he's getting hit.
Oh man, he found it.
Yep, he got the magic that was under the pot, so he's got to find the door. Hey, he nailed it.
He is out. The madman. The madman's going all the way.
Speaking of going all the way, we see Loogaroo heading into Crystal Desert. Notably, he does not have the gloves, so he will not be able to finish this. And even if he finds the glove, he doesn't have a fire source, so he's just looking for items, I think.
Yeah, he got half magic from that chest location. Now, it's important to note that if the key, like a small key or a big key, isn't there, it's going to be on the torch, either one of those two. So he's just jumping off, and he's going to get what was on the ledge item that we were missing while DT was doing his dark room excursions. It must be something important.
Yeah, yep, but there's the gloves.
Beautiful.
So yeah, really solid play. Early-ish gloves and a really nice convenience like half magic. Loogaroo is definitely happy to see both of those items.
Now it's interesting that he chose not to sequence break Desert by going into the other room, grabbing a small key, and doing two more checks, 2 more chest checks.
Alright, so checking the back of the escape here. Definitely a nice thing to do when you get the gloves and still don't have the lantern.
Ooh. A lovely Bombos medallion for Loogaroo. We don't know if it's needed yet.
I'm always happy to find medallions early in the game because it can be a small breadcrumb, and it's also just one less thing to have to worry about. Alright, so we see DT checking the sick kid here. And nothing that exciting. And meanwhile, Loogaroo making his way toward the bottom escape. We already know there's not too much exciting down there either, but I don't blame him at all for checking this out. And we see, is DT doing a pedestal check? I love it. Because he's already checked, he's already checked Lost Woods, so he's like, you know what, I'm not going to lug this book around all day. I read the first chapter on how to aim my bombs and arrows, and chapter 2 is how to read what's on the pedestal. Alright, chat. It's time to see what's on the pedestal. Oh no, the hot rod! So the fire rod is on the pedestal. That is a pretty sweet thing to have on the pedestal. Almost guaranteed to be a pedestal required seed here. So that is definitely a big advantage for DT to have access to that information very early. So he is not regretting picking up that Eastern Palace pendant at all. Yeah, and chat correctly pointing out that since we have 2 pendants in the light world, that they're both Skull Woods and or Turtle Rock have to be crystals. So the fire rod is 100% required in this seed. So the pedestal hype is real. But before we can get too excited about Pedestal hype, we need to figure out a way to get into the Dark World, which means either another glove upgrade or the hammer. We know Aghanim 1 is not hard required because of the rupees that were in the back of Lumberjack Cave, but still might be required for routing purposes. We'll have to see. Oh, there's the hammer for DT.
Awesome. That means that DT just needs to get over to the desert in order to pick up that that power glove, and we have our Dark World access. So no Aghanim.
That is correct. Although each of these two runners has a piece of the Dark World access puzzle here. So I have a feeling once either one of them gets the other missing half, the seed's gonna really open up for both the two of them.
Looks like chat is mourning the loss of their Aga 1 potential. But do you really enjoy Aghanim Tower, or do you just enjoy the play?
I mean, you know, Aghanim Tower is just a big time waste. But, you know, if it's required, it's just a nice little bit of execution, I guess.
Absolutely. I mean, you like to always see closed races. So if somebody is like super far ahead but misses one location that gives them that Dark World access, and they're thinking in their head, okay, well, if I do Aghanim, it gives that second racer that option B. You know what? I'm gonna keep going with this. You know, I'm gonna see what's going on. Oh, DT getting super lucky, getting that one rupee that he needs. Oh man.
Man, usually crabs are bad, but in this case, the crabs were really good for him.
I think it was more or less a revenge kill after what happened to him earlier.
Yeah, that was the revenge of the crabs at that point. 20 rupees of the Zora Ledge, not too important, but nice to know he won't have to come back here with flippers or anything crazy. Alright, looks like Loogaroo is very close to finding his hammer here.
Oh yes, we're gonna have our first Dark World access on Loogaroo's side. But we're about to see what Zora is holding on to. What is this fortune all for?
Wow, that is the most expensive piece of heart I've ever seen.
I wouldn't pay for that.
Well, you don't really have a lot of choice. I guess you could reset, but, you know.
We've seen that before. Somebody save and quit before they make the Zora gamble.
Yep. Yeah, if money's tight and you still have to open Palace of Darkness or do the chest digging game, it's not a terrible play if it works out in your routing.
Ooh, and perhaps DT not far behind, going to be seeing that that power glove on the ledge. May just go straight for it, because knowing that he doesn't have the boots or a fire source, cannot really complete the dungeon. So I'm willing to bet he's going to see that there and beeline it.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Although it might be a shame because he'll end up missing a really nice convenience in half magic. So we got ourselves a really interesting race here. We've got DT with the knowledge that Fire Rod is in the pedestal, which is a huge piece of information. Oh, Loogaroo is about to find that same piece, so never mind.
Yep, and Loogaroo is actually going up to check pedestal.
Oh yes, yeah. During your brief interlude, we found out that DT checked the pedestal and it was a Fire Rod.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. The hype is real, my friend.
Yeah, with 2 pendants here, that Fire Rod is definitely needed. Because even if Skull Woods manages to be a pendant, you still need it for Turtle Rock. But with a early Ice Rod, probably not going to be Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock might end up being a pendant. Because it always seems to be that way. You get an early Ice Rod, and you get to Dark Road and go, oh, well, you know, Turtle Rock wasn't needed, so I just got this thing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the one pendant dungeon in the Dark World is, because since the runners, both of them know that they have to get Fire Rod eventually, it might incentivize them to clear those pendant dungeons out as soon as possible, just to get that piece of the puzzle in their possession.
Now, I was getting a little bit interested where Loogaroo was going, and for a second I thought he was going to go to the Dark World and go straight to Palace of Darkness, but I think he's going up to Eastern to pick up that pendant. knowing that the fire rod is in there and knowing that it is pedestal required.
Yeah, an interesting choice. You know, it's always nice to. It always feels really good to route Eastern and Pod together if you ever find the mirror. But he might just want to clear it out just to clear it off his plate. Interestingly enough, he's going to have to execute on that dark room just as well as DT did to not lose a lot of time here. Question in chat, T-Rock can't be a pendant because you need Fire Rod to do it. That is correct. So yeah, both Skullwoods and Turtle Rock cannot be a pendant dungeon in this seed.
That is correct. Thank you, chat. Alright, DT checking the back end of the escape. Didn't really hold anything outside the Bombos tablet. Freezing him a rat for later.
Loogaroo going into this room, if I have Bombos or Ether, casting it when you walk in here to kind of get a visual on the little guys is a really handy trick. So we'll see how well Lug does in here.
Uh-oh. Looks like he's a little bit lost.
Picking up a lot of arrows from the drops, though. Oh yes. Chat reminded me that you cannot cast Bombos without a sword. So, well played, chat. Well played.
I believe that is 2-0 for chat versus us.
It might specifically be chat versus files. I never learned how to read, guys.
Don't be starting that don't read meme with me.
Oh
no!
Unfortunately taken a death in Eastern. That is a really tough room. A very tough room.
I wonder if he's gonna leave. Nope, he's going back in for seconds. Or well, in this case, thirds. He's already been here.
That does even the death counter up though to 1-1.
Yeah, Luigi sweating over here. Meanwhile, DT is going to give us some information. He's going to more than likely do a map check here, see what's going on. Awesome.
Pendant Thieves.
Well,
Hey, when you got the
it.
hammer and you know you have to clear it, I'd be very surprised if we didn't see DT do the Village of Outcasts area here.
Yeah, nobody likes to do hammer on blind, especially with this low of health. We saw what a low health blind looked like in our last race, and unfortunately it didn't fare very well for one of our racers.
Yeah, you get kind of used to, especially if you've been playing a lot of casual or your open seeds have just been very generous, you get very used to the sword being available when you fight blind, but...
Yeah, sword or Samaria are huge helps when you're fighting blind.
Yeah, there are a lot of interesting ways you can kill blind, but the sword is definitely the easiest way.
Unless
So
he
it's not
finds one of
surprising.
those things here, sword
Yeah.
or cane, we may not see a early Thieves Town for DT.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame him at all for perhaps putting it off or maybe checking the first few chests. Oh no, it looks like he's going for it.
Oh, he's going for it. He's
Man
been a
mode.
madman. Yeah, he's been a madman in Eastern, just like Loogaroo's doing. Loogaroo's getting through there.
Yep, yeah, he definitely got through that room, so his persistence paid off.
Who needs sword, Samaria, or a torch in this seed, eh, boys?
DT's just gonna yell at him until he cowers in fear.
Yell at him, shake the hammer, whatever you have to do to make blind just go, you know what? No, not today. I'm just here's your loot, here's your pendant. I gotta go.
Here's your bad joke. Peace out.
Yeah. Here's your pun. I gotta go to the eye doctor. The optometrist hasn't seen me in years.
It's funny every time.
I like that pizza one, but it's just too cheesy.
Yeah, the skier that often jumps to conclusions is also pretty good. Alright, so Loogaroo getting his 20 rupee reward for killing the Armos. I'm interested to see where he routes next. I have a feeling he might end up heading in the same direction that DT already is at.
I could also see him going into Palace of Darkness. He has the bow, he has the hammer. He's got what he needs to get in there. Oh, nope. Saving and quitting. Meanwhile, DT having not really a hard time inside Thieves Town right now, making his way through pretty easily.
Yeah, although the real challenges are yet to come. He's about to enter the Hellway, and the blind fight are going to be the big factors here. DT taking it nice and easy, getting through without a problem.
Yeah, he had really good RNG with those little ghosty puffs. You can't hit them when they are together, but you can only hit the one that isn't semi-transparent. And I believe that the hammer would kill them outright in one hit, but once again, the hammer hitbox is just, whew, it is so yeah, it's so wonky. DT having to pick up bombs here, ran out of bombs.
Luckily, I think the vanilla, that chest in vanilla has 3 bombs, but there's still bombs underneath the skull pots for us randomizer players, which is very nice. Alright, it looks like Lug did elect to head in this direction as opposed to going to pod.
Yeah, and even for some of us NMG players, those bombs underneath those pots can come in quite handy. It all depends on if you make that bomb jump or not.
Or how many times it took you to get it.
Oh yeah. Both of our runners know about Pedestal, yes. DT was ahead with that knowledge by, I think, 3 minutes.
Sounds about right.
But it's good that both of our runners have that.
Oh yeah, and it was before any like huge major routing decisions were made, so it was pretty early. As far as troll pedestal seeds go, definitely on the lighter side. No blind pedestal pull for the required item that you have deduced is in the pedestal.
Oh yeah, I like with the ability of the book now to be placed on the pedestal, I could think of that as only like the worst thing, you know, having to get the book either to get the final item at one of the tablets or it being the only way to get inside desert.
Yeah, that is definitely very interesting. Alright, we're seeing, speaking of very interesting, we're seeing DT about to walk into Hammer Blind. This should be a very interesting fight.
Yeah, same thing Loogaroo is going to be doing shortly. Both of these racers really showing off their skills with these bosses and these not so conventional or optimal weapons to use on them.
DT seems to be doing not too bad. I think this blue mail that he picked up is in the escape from his dead uncle is definitely paying dividends here.
Looks like Chad is giving Wizrobe more ideas with a pedestal book at tablet fetch quest item for a required item. And lo and behold, Blind is holding a sword. DT probably like, really? Really? That's what you're holding on to? All right, video game. I see what you're trying to do.
It was his one weakness, so he had to pack it away. At least now he gets to do the fanfare and actually have a sword to spin instead of just doing that weird hand gesture thing. Alright, so it looks like DT is opting to check the front of Skull Woods here. Alright, looks like he's doing the pretty typical Skull Woods route through the front here. We'll see if his routing choice is rewarded here or not. So funny, everyone has their own little strategy as to how they deal with that one Gyarados mummy next to that one chest there. Some people like to back out, some people like to hit him with the skull pot, use the iframes to walk through him. It's always interesting to see what people opt to do there.
Yeah, me personally, I just like to fire out the guy if I have it. It's Gyarados, man.
Oh, just burn him.
Let's get him out of here, take him out.
Plus the fire rod is, like, to me, the most satisfying weapon in this game to use. It has a really cool hitbox while it flies and makes a satisfying whoosh noise. And who doesn't enjoy fire?
Yeah, get your Super Nintendo hooked up to like a 7.1 Dolby surround sound with the bass, and when you fire off, then you get a nice whoosh, deep bass feel. Oh.
I can't say I've experienced that, but that sounds amazing.
Just thinking outside the box for your ultimate immersion into Link to the Past. You gotta go Dolby surround.
If I can't feel the rumblings of the bombs exploding, then I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Also, hashtag not sponsored, but would not mind being sponsored by Dolby.
I was gonna say I'll sell out. I'm for sale. Send me some speakers, man. I'll be your shill.
You'll be the wind beneath their wings.
There's another word for it, but I can't say it on stream. But we see DT getting the big key and probably the most annoying chest in the game, or annoying chest in Skullwoods to check without Samaria. So he gets the opportunity to check yet another chest. So
now it's interesting.
That's a bomb jump.
Yeah, it's interesting that he decided to push the statue down instead of getting picked up by the Wallmaster. It actually would have saved him a couple of hearts from getting hit by that Gyarados.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, if you're low enough in health, you could just death warp back out of that room too. Throw yourself into the spike in the back.
And unfortunately, without boots or a hook shot, he actually has to go all the way around this way. Broken pencils are pointless. Loogaroo showing off the hammer strats.
Yep, a very nice opening attack there.
Do you suppose that he's practiced this?
It's hard to tell. He's going to try the ice rod and only to discover that it is not effective, unfortunately. Oh, you got this, Luke. Come on, man.
Yeah, he's got blue mail, got plenty of health.
Oh, no. So close.
Oh, no.
He's looking at his menu for options.
I know. He doesn't have anything.
No. That is a tough fight. That is just a tough fight.
And now it's even tougher. If he wants to try to go in there, yeah, he's not. I wouldn't mess around with that. I mean, if you can't get it first try, you got to come back with a sword, which unfortunately for Loogaroo is what he's holding.
That's just cruel irony is all that is. Luke taking out his frustrations on that one bush he bombed. Don't blame him at all.
He's trying to blow up the skull chickens. They were truly responsible for this.
Pretty much. I mean, they are, just skin and bones.
Looks like DT started to draw us a question mark, but now I don't know what he's drawing.
He's drawing, can this game be done, please? I'm tired of digging. That's what that looks like to me.
I just for once want to see somebody go into this digging game and like spell out hi, or I saw a video where somebody did the exact pattern that the tiles come out at, so it made the Space Invader. Look at Loogaroo go! Loogaroo's going right back in for blinds.
You know, tenacity worked out for him in Eastern Palace, so maybe it'll work out for him here. I admire his ability to not tilt and just kind of come back in here and attempt it again.
So far, round one is not going well.
No, he's taken a lot of damage from Blind's body.
Oh,
ouch.
Luigi is down again. But you gotta give Luigi credit. I mean, he's here, Mario isn't. Mario is not ready to take on an adventure of this scale, only Luigi can.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Luigi's good enough to carry. He had his own game with a mansion. Ooh, Flipper's picked up by DT in Hype Cave.
I've never seen Mario deal with ghosts.
That's a relatively Hype Cave. Flipper's in Master Sword.
That's not bad. That means that for Loogaroo, there's a sword in Hype Cave, and he's not that far away. So the next rematch against Blind is more than likely to go in his favor.
Yep. Unfortunately, though, he does have to dig a mile-long trench here in the digging game before he'll get to escape.
Well, we all know that Luigi is the man with the tools, so he's got this. All Mario's ever had is was a water backpack.
That's true. Although that game was awesome.
It was awesome. I'm not gonna downplay that game.
I was just about to throw some hate on it, but I'm like, you know what? That game, awesome. Super Mario Sunshine, everybody. Good stuff. Alright, DT's checking out the pyramid. We can only hope that Luga's going to continue the Dark World South loop here.
Ooh, it's the lantern!
Ooh. Oh, that is always... I don't know about you, Ninnies, but I always breathe a sigh of relief when I'm at a seed where I get lantern early, because, you know, I've practiced Dark Rooms well enough, but it's always nice to not have to do them.
Yeah, you always have to because the situation can come up, but I agree with you 100%. Not having to utilize that experience it's so much nicer, especially with how much health both of these players have at the moment. DT doing some overworld with only 2.5 hearts.
It's a bold move. Blue Tunic making that slightly less scary, but still scary.
Yeah, indeed, let's see if it pays off for him, Cotton.
A bold strategy. Speaking of bold strategies, it looks like DT is taking your advice from about 15 minutes ago and heading over to Pod.
And Loogaroo is going to get himself a nice pair of finger webs and a sword finally. 41 minutes into the seed, could have had one if he got lucky with Blind about 5 minutes ago.
Welcome to open mode, ladies and gentlemen.
There it is.
The rage swipes.
A little bit of anger from Loogaroo, like, what? Are you kidding me? The sword is here.
We've all been there, man.
Yeah, I want to see his reaction if he does the same thing at Blind and finds the sword there.
that would be glorious, is what that would be. DT doing a little dodge matrix move and actually walking into them, but it looks like he was trying to death warp. So you know what? Well played, DT. Well played.
Oh yeah. Palace of Darkness is scary. Even if you don't have the torch here, he still has to utilize bombs to get through the walls that he can't bonk. And there's still a plethora of things out here that can just deal damage to you.
Yeah, mirrorless pod routing is also kind of annoying too. It just doesn't feel very efficient.
Oh yeah, this whole dungeon in general just feels slow. It's akin without the mirror, it feels almost as slow as Swamp does. Because everybody, when they make that Swamp Palace gamble, they always feel like they're just losing time going in there, even if you found something advantageous.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that one.
It looks like Loogaroo is doing the same thing. We're going to have both of our runners in the same spot. They haven't been in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, DT with definitely a bit of a lead here, but Loogaroo is still hot on his tails here.
Now see, here's
we've got a lot of items left that we still need to find too.
Oh yeah, but see, here's the big difference. Loogaroo did not go to the pyramid to find the lamp, so Loogaroo is going to have to do this without the lamp, which means holding the sword out, utilizing your memory to try to navigate the dark maze and get to the boss. But DT's just going to be able to breeze through those.
Yep, well, at least Lug did manage to pick up a sword before he had to do this lanternless.
Yeah, I couldn't even begin to try to want to do this with like a bow or the hammer.
I think the worst dark pod I ever did was I just had a blue boomerang and no sword and no lantern. That was rough.
That's not too bad. I mean, Samario could help a lot too. You just have to hold the block, and if you get hit, I mean, that's you just drop the block. So DT
He's gonna have to contend with these beetles over here since there's no boots to do the fun strat.
He's got to be quick. And he made it. Oh no! It hit it twice.
Bomb double hit.
It's at this point, it was like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna deal with the beetles. I'll just go around.
Him. He's just going around.
yeah.
I like it.
He's going for the bow strat.
Well, you know what? You could sit there and take 20 seconds trying to make that work with the beetles, or you could just go around. I can respect that.
Oh yeah, I'd absolutely do the same as I think the DT was doing.
That's the routing of a man who has tried to do that and realized that it was not worth the time he spent doing it.
Yes, this man he was trying to do that, but as soon as it didn't work out, he was having flashbacks.
Is this a hammer jump I'm seeing here?
This is a hammer jump.
Well done, DT. That's that NMG practice paying off for him.
Unfortunately, we're getting a little bit of buffering on Loogaroo, so we're gonna get the information.
Oh, there we go.
Is it still going, or did it freeze again? Oh, yeah, a little bit. So he's gonna be skipping around pod.
That's all right. We'll try to keep it updated with what he's got as best we can here.
And Chad is opting to ask for the next slide, please, Loogaroo.
PowerPoint jokes, always a good time. Oh, Samaria.
Beautiful.
That is always a nice pickup.
Now let's see if this strat works for Loogaroo better. Oh, he just chooses to go for it initially and just do the loop around, same as DT.
Well, apparently all the red items are in pod because the red magical boomerang was also up here in pod. Oh, and the mirror!
That's nuts.
That's always annoying. Like, DT spent all this time doing a really good mirrorless pod routing, and like the last chest he gets, it's the mirror.
Yeah, he went through everything, and he's just like, man, probably thinking to himself, it'd be so great if I had. Oh, this is just turning out to be one of those scenes where it's like, it'd be great if, and then it appears.
Yep, it worked with sword.
Yeah.
Worked with mirror.
Yeah, blind. It'd be great if I had. Oh, there it is.
The best version of that is when you're really hoping for like Ice Rod and Total Rock, but you know, they've already found it, so the dream is dead on that one.
Oh yeah, pod really playing out for both of our racers, and it's great that they're both here. That means that, you know, they're not going to be too far behind. Loogaroo is going to have a little bit of struggle in the dark rooms, yes, but if he chooses to do the bomb jump, it's actually not that hard to get up. It's really getting down and getting all the way back up that is a little bit strenuous and that you can get lost.
Yep, and even a well-executed dark room, it just takes more time than doing it with a lantern, even if you do it perfectly almost.
Ooh, missing that sword spin on the turtles, taking a little bit of damage, but thankful for that blue mail. Those turtles actually
last
do
two lined up very nicely for him, though.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, Helmasaur's RNG will play nice for DT here. It is worth noting that the hammer, or rather the mirror that they got in this dungeon, did allow them access to Hera, which is the last thing that they needed to get access to the fire rod.
This is true, and it is the green pennant as well, so could we see not only Pedestal, but Sahasrahla having something? Because at this point, there's a lot that could just be all over the place. With having it being Pedestal acquired so early, and with these dungeons being easily accessible.
Yeah, I mean, with how tight this early of this seed was, there's definitely a lot of exploration. Like we haven't even been to Death Mountain yet, so. But with this mirror and the hammer, they're gonna take some time to clear that out.
Yeah, the only major restrictions were due to the Crystals 5 and 6 being at Palace of Darkness and Misery Mire. That it only limited Flute, Samaria, and one of the medallions, as well as hammer and bow from being at those things. So there's the rest of these items can still be hidden away in this dungeon, or at the double chested fairy through those dungeons, I should say.
The main thing I'm worried about is since Fire Rod is locked behind Pendant Hera, Loogaroo really needs to check Pyramid to get his lantern before he's going to be able to get the Fire Rod.
Yeah. Just in case the tile room is required. Looks like DT's finally making a journey to check the hobo.
He'll enjoy his sweet pocket change. I always just assumed that that Hera tile room is required because the rando gods hate me.
Is that all you ever get?
Hate? Yes.
Oh.
A relatively well executed left side dark room on a Loogaroo there in pod. So he gets to take a little bit better advantage of the mirror just due to the routing he chose to pick up chests than DT did. But with the hammer bomb jump, DT didn't feel too bad about that either, I guess. Is this some catfish spotting we're going to see here? Looks to be the case.
Now, DT in a lot of his races has actually been hurt by the Quakefish holding something necessary, so I don't blame him for making this play. And I know a lot of people have said, you know, it takes a couple of seeds to get used to it, to get good times. And, you know, you're always going to get trolled by one seed or another, and you will never forget these locations.
Yeah, every runner seems to... every runner seems to get their, you know, like that one PTSD location that they forgot about in one race, and then they never forget about it again.
I know, in my first experience with the randomizer, one of the things that got me was I did not know the NPCs in the caves, like the mini Moldorm cave and the one before Hype Cave, actually contained items, and the one right before the Hype Cave in Dark World contained the bow.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah, I think for me it was accidentally walking by the bombable wall in the back of Blind's hut in the Light World. Turns out I had something important in that seed.
That's actually happened to a lot of people. They've either not had bombs going in there, or they've just, you know, plain forgot about it after they, you know, started to collect certain items, and they're still on that last item hunt.
Alright, well, we rescue the creepy old man that hangs out in the cave in the dark by himself with bats. That's not weird.
You know, perhaps he's raising them. You know, he could be a bat farmer.
That's true. I took it to a weird place, and it could have been perfectly innocent.
Although I don't know what he's exporting with the utilization of the bats. Maybe it's just like an odd hobby. So, I mean, maybe he didn't take it too far.
Yeah, maybe he's all after the bat guano in there.
Guano.
Who knows? All I know is that is that dark room is not that bad, but when it goes bad, those bats get all up in your business.
All right, looks like DT moved a little bit too fast for me to see what was inside Spectacle Cave, but it looks like it's not really of consequence, as he's just opting to go straight to Hera now.
Always feels good to come up to Hera and have the Master Sword and the Book of Medora in hand, so you don't have to feel like that there was something important in the ether that you're gonna have to come back for.
Yeah, poor Loogaroo is one sword upgrade away from checking those. So for Loogaroo's sake, nothing really necessary.
Alright, we got DT heading into Hera here. Pendant Hera, but since Fire Rod is in the pedestal for sweet, sweet pedestal hype, 100% necessary, unfortunately.
I mean, sometimes I don't mind a pedestal seed every once in a while, because that means that no dungeon is a gamble as long as you can complete it, because you have to get all the pendants and all the crystals anyway. It's just which order you choose to do them and how early into the seed. So we're going to see sub-hour pedestal pool, more than likely.
Oh yeah, it turns the game much more into, you know, how tight is my routing versus how good are my gambles. So yeah, that is a really good point, Denise. I like the way you think about that. Turn the negatives of a pedestal seed into a positive. Speaking of negatives into positive, Loogaroo just spent 500 rupees on a piece of heart, just like DT has done. Feels bad, man.
It's tough. We all make sacrifices, and King Zora just keeps getting richer. If only we had a tally of how many people made the choice to go up to Zora and spend the 500 rupees. That guy's got to be somewhere in the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, there's like 5 mansions up behind the waterfall there. That's just the backside of his infinite horizon pool.
Oh yeah, guy's got his entire flat decked out with IKEA furniture. He doesn't know it's gonna break, but
I feel like if Zora's got just a ton of money, he can afford stuff besides IKEA furniture. Maybe that's just me.
I mean, he's trying to live within his means, trying to save for the future. He's got a retirement plan. Do you see how many kids he's got?
Yeah, there were quite a few of them there. DT giving Moldorm the business here.
A poke, a hammer, and a spin. There is that lovely green pendant. Oh, we have somebody in chat that's an inside man. He has a backup of IKEA furniture. You know, with how much money he has, I wouldn't be surprised if he owns his own franchise.
He's got IKEA shelves that hold other IKEA shelves.
Oh, this is interesting. So Loogaroo going into Skull Woods. I can't remember if DT made the journey. I believe he did, yes, because I remember you made the comment about the Gibdos.
Resident Sleeper Spiral Cave, no boots, no hook shot.
But he does have sword beams. That ain't too bad.
That's true. Pew Pew Lasers is actually probably... Oh, no, he doesn't have sword beams anymore.
We said something. I'm sorry. We're sorry. Commentators curse.
He heard you, and he's like, I'm going to throw my body into this beery, and I'm going to take some damage.
Holy Titan's mitts.
That is a pretty good find, turns out. You could lift really heavy things with those.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just going to say, especially the route that he decided to take. He could go straight to Dark World and then just utilize, you know, the mirror to pop in between each of these light and Dark World locations.
Yeah, that's really fortuitous for the way he chose to route the eastern half of Death Mountain there. That worked out very well for him. You are correct.
Now, I don't think that Luger is going to really find anything here in Skull Woods. Unfortunately, this is just going to be one of those plays where it just turns into like, oh man, well, I got to come back here, and where is my opponent at this point? We're approaching the hour check mark, which is essentially like the mid game point where a lot of the gambles and a lot of the choices really kind of come through for these racers.
Yeah, that is correct. I have a feeling he was just thinking, you know, I have to go fight blind anyway. I might as well check the front of Skull Woods while I'm having to walk by that area, because I didn't do it last time.
But see, the advantage that Loogaroo has is he went to pod before coming here, so he has the mirror, a little bit extra transportation. So when he gets like this big key, or the big chest with the big key, he can actually just mirror out.
And he got to use Samaria on the annoying block puzzle too.
Yes, that is true. Forgot about that. DT did not have Samaria at this moment. So DT heading up to Super Bunny Cave, as it's known. For For those of you that have seen probably in some of this tournament or in the first randomizer tournament or the qualifiers, I mean, there's so many different opportunities. You can actually come here and open these chests while using a minor glitch called Super Bunny.
Yeah, it's a real handy way to kind of do a minor logic break if you're up here to get a look at those two chests earlier than you should, per the logic.
Awesome, we're gonna get this T-Rock info.
Bombos.
Not bad. Uh-oh.
So you gonna open it? No, okay. It would be a bold move to enter Turtle Rock without Fire Rod when you know where Fire Rod is.
I was just about to say that, like, it looked like he was thinking about it, but immediately remembered, oh yeah, that's right, I need to go pick up my Fire Rod.
I think in his mind he's like, alright, I got the third pendant, which means I basically have quote-unquote Fire Rod, but yeah, you still have to go pick it up.
But I think DT did give us a clue on his next location. I feel like we could be seeing Turtle Rock here soon.
Yeah, you know the seed's going well when it's an hour in and your second crystal dungeon you're about to clear is Turtle Rock. That's when you know you're having a good time.
Loogaroo easily making it through that. I think that's probably the easiest dark room just to get through there. All you really need to do is just find your walls and then just hold your sword out against them.
Yep. And even the aforementioned bats I talked about are really not that bad if you know what side of the wall to hug on your way in and out.
Oh yeah.
You just gotta be careful not to step in all that guano.
Yeah. The unfortunate side for Loogaroo is he's gonna have Ether Pedestal in the back of his mind as he enters Hera. So that could come into play should he be missing an item.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than all those thoughts of, oh man, did I miss something? Am I gonna have to come back here? That can really gnaw in the back of your head while you're trying to complete a seed.
You know, this routing by DT is really good. He went into Dark World. He's coming here to pick up the Fire Rod. And then all of a sudden, he's going to go back there, be right back in Dark World, and he's going to take care of Skull Woods right here. Double bombing the pedestal.
I was going to say, DT letting the seed know how he feels about it.
The double disrespect. I mean, he can't be too mad. The seed gave him the ability to read that pedestal early, and he utilized it. I think he should be happy.
Yeah, I mean, this is really the best case pedestal scenario. You know, the early check and the early knowledge. I mean, it doesn't make you any less mad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to try to attempt to cover up a pedestal seed in a tournament.
Yeah, we can only spin that one so far. It's still pedestal seed.
But he's got the mirror. Checking this early, gets the flute!
Wow.
Fire Rod leading the flute.
The seed went from incredibly stingy to, you know, item to item to item pretty quick here. So DT's gonna really be cruising here. Yeah, the real tell will be what medallion is gonna be required to enter Mire.
I also love the flute here. I mean, he's so close to being able to activate it too.
Everything's coming up swag, Duck. I'm interested to see, with half magic, we're definitely going to see a lot of Fire Rod action, but one of these days I want to see some Hammer Moldworm action when somebody's got a really crappy sword.
You know, I usually opt to do that even if I have a Master Sword. Just hammering Moldworm is just so fun. But hammering Mothula is not fun at all.
Neither one of us can talk, send help. Nini's has an excuse. He's been marathon manning. I just apparently was drinking while I was at work.
Well, I mean, if he got him.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of hammering Moldworm, Loogaroo is bailing me out here and showing exactly what I was talking about.
I mean, to be honest, you knew.
Exactly. I knew that was coming. I'm playing the long game here. So I have a feeling we're going to see DT mirroring and activating that duck, as you mentioned.
Oh yeah, and as we know from the last tournament, DT came out of nowhere with this this anthem, and I feel like it would be something that he would truly appreciate if we could find the files for that and honor him with a Swag Duck anthem.
Well, we've got one files, but we need to find the correct files.
Oh yeah,
So
we got top men on this. Top men.
Top men.
But
Alright.
if I can remember from memory, it goes a little something like this. I am the quacking duck, flying you to and fro. I have silly web feet, look at me go. Mire, mountain, or lake, flying you at your will. I do not charge a fee, but I still have a bill.
Well done, sir. Keeping the knowledge and the memory alive. Extremely well done. DT's even doing the dance before the warp tile in appreciation for the song that, while he couldn't hear, I'm sure he could feel the energy of.
I think he knows. I think somehow deep down he knows.
His spirit is being lifted on the wings of an angel, or at the very least, the wings of a swag duck.
But I think what we're going to have to do is, once Loogaroo gets it, I think it would be fair if I sing the second verse. Some of you may not know there are 3 verses to the song that DT wrote.
Well, I've heard the first and second one. I'm not sure if I've heard the third one. I feel like such a fake fan now. DT taking the opportunity to smack down some pegs while he's in the area, and he got a frog to watch him do it. Interpret that as you will.
I think we all know how we're going to interpret that.
Frogs really like hammers. I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, so Luke is about to find out that Turtle Rock is the medallion that he has in his possession already, which is always a good feeling. Question in chats. No, that was my boy Ninny's just killing the Swag Duck anthem. That was not me.
I'm going to have to let you know, we have found the second verse of this anthem. So as soon as Loogaroo gets it, we will have another opportunity to hear verse 1 and 2.
Yeah, we got some so vanilla swords from the Smiths there, but that's alright.
Yeah, I mean, for DT, getting tempered at about this time, I mean, he's been falling into these swords. He got the fighter sword from Blind, got his second upgrade. I mean, did you want to sing this one, Files?
I'm gonna let you take this one, buddy. You did so well with the first one, I would just embarrass myself now.
But I don't mean to hog the spotlight. I mean, if Chad is calling out for you to sing...
I would provide backup beatboxing, but I'm afraid the time delay would just kill it. Chat's calling out for ninnies, so you know, who am I to deny Chat the rightful you know, songs that they want to hear?
Ooh, we could duet.
Just do it just like a really power ballad duet. That's gonna require a lot more planning than we already put into this, unfortunately, Chad.
Alright, so anyway.
So DT finished his Dark World Southwest loop here. I have a feeling he's going to go to Mire, and yes, that looks to be what he's doing. We're going to have to see what the Mire medallion is. If it's Bombos, then I have a feeling he's just going to go straight in. Alright, so let's see what's in the Mire shed here. cash money dollar bill, y'all, and some red goo. Not very exciting.
I know, we still haven't found the blue goo for Loogaroo.
The dream is still alive. I think that was only the third bottle.
And we see ether is required for mire. That's not too bad. I actually like to see ether there. Maybe one of our racers will actually throw the bird in there, do the good old bird toss.
Our good friend Ter, who's doing the tracking, did the bird toss. Oh, the dream is dead. That was the fourth bottle, I think, and it was a B.
Ah.
It's all right. It was such a good idea. I'm gonna pretend that it was a blue bottle. Alright, so I think DT electing to instead head up to Turtle Rock for all the reasons we discussed last time when we thought he was going to do it. Yep,
and Loogaroo with his double rematch against Blind, this time going much better. More health, decides to use the bombos.
Is that a really bombos?
Yeah, just putting it down. Did it actually work?
I don't think so, but you know, he's exploding in an explosion of fire. Which is, you know,
he really put the damage on him.
I mean, if you're exploding in an explosion of fire, that's just a lot of fire and explosions. Alright, so I have a feeling we're going to see Lug do the similar thing that DT did. Take the Skullwoods route up through, Mire, get his fire rod, and finish up the dungeon.
Yeah, but I mean, like, poor Loogaroo, this whole time, like one sword upgrade away from that Master Sword. DT, like we were saying, is choosing to go to Turtle Rock this early.
You know, with how much version 26 loves items in dungeons, when you have everything you need to complete one, especially a linear one like Turtle Rock, I really support this the play. I think it's a good one.
It looks like DT's game has frozen, or at least just the stream is frozen. I don't want to say game, but his stream is frozen. Oh wait, oh, all right, we're catching up.
He had to work that flint and steel for a while before those explosions would start from bombos.
He gave it a little pep talk. He took it out, wanted to use it, and it was like, It's like, come on, you gotta do this for me, buddy. I don't want to. He just had to like sit there and listen. Like, listen,
just
bombos.
Do it. Just do it. I don't want to. Just do it.
Yeah. I'll show him the Shia LaBeouf motivational YouTube video.
Or one of the one gajillion different variations of it.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, looking at the times, I think it was purposely done to resync our racers.
Oh, could very well be. That's not as much fun as the Shia LaBeouf theory, though. So I'm gonna go with that one.
Oh yeah, I mean, you just can't let things be dreams.
It's a meme dream.
Those are the best kind of dreams, my friend.
Are they though? Yes, they are.
They can be. All right, so here's something interesting. Loogaroo knows there's one more item in this dungeon. Coming here, going straight for Mothula, but I'm hoping that he's gonna check that chest. There's no way that he can't, right?
I would assume that he would. I mean, why wouldn't you? The only reason you would, I think, is if you would forget that it was there. And I don't think Loogaroo, I don't think is the type of player that make that kind of mistake. I don't think. Flute is definitely 100% required in this seed.
Yeah, as are boots, and we have not found the boots yet. So could boots and T-Rock be something?
Well, the breadcrumbs have really led the DT from dungeon to dungeon here, so it would not surprise me if that were the case.
Man, Loogaroo having a much easier time with Mothula than DT did.
Yeah, that was a pretty straightforward moth kill.
Just goes to show you how, even though in the randomizer, how you can script a couple of things so that way they're consistent across it, like, you know, Aghanim's blue balls and Ganon's warps, how still just the boss RNG can give one player a more advantageous fight.
Lou opting to take the bridge up top to avoid the bunny beams and the spikes.
And he's gonna get himself this sweet flute.
I bet he's real happy to find that.
Oh yeah.
For those wondering, it is pretty standard. Amazing A was talking about it in chat, but it is pretty standard to do Mothula first when you have one item left, because you have to kill him anyway, and if the item is there, you'll have saved yourself a walk.
I do like that. So I do want to offer this out to you one more time. Would you like to sing a duet with me, or are you happy with just the solo?
I would love to sing a duet with you, but is that Hookshot in Turtle Rock?
Was that Hookshot in Turtle Rock? Wait, quick, no distractions.
Quick, find something else, DT. Save me. I would love to sing a duet with you. I'm just a little bit worried that the chat delay might just kill it.
Well, here we go. I am the mighty duck, but you are the lucky duck, because when things run amok, I still give a quack. After I make my flight, boy, my wings will tire. I'm still hoping the seed is pedestal required.
Well done, sir. And you know what? This seed was pedestal required.
We got everything we wanted.
The hype is real. Alright, so Lug immediately going to the mire area. He's gonna find out pretty quick that he's gonna be looking for ether.
Yeah. But it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. I mean, we still haven't found it. There's still a couple other dungeons that haven't been checked at all, which is Swamp Palace and Ice Palace.
Having found a Hookshot in Turtle Rock would kind of incline me to check out Swamp after this.
Oh yeah. I mean, you have bombos, you had flippers. I mean, you could have done Ice Palace even before getting the Fire Rod. Just Fire Rod makes that dungeon so much quicker.
Yeah, I think most runners tend to avoid Ice Palace, perhaps a bit overmuch. I'm kind of the same way. I don't like going there unless I have to, but sometimes there's good stuff in there, and you just have to make the decision to dive in there.
Yeah, I've been burned by Ice Palace too much. I will even.
Which is ironic.
Yeah. I'm often somebody that if I have the means to get there, even if I'm sequence breaking without the flippers, I will go to Ice Palace. And Loogaroo getting all 4 bottles. Loogaroo, no blue goo, but 4 bottle.
I'll give you an A+ for effort on that one. That was good stuff. Alright, DT going through Turtle Rock and not having to do it dark, which Loogaroo might have to if he does not get around to checking the pyramid.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate that lamp is so easily accessed.
But, you know, he's going to Ice Palace first, which is an interesting gambit. If it turns out there's something really important here and DT puts it off for later, this could really go in Loogaroo's favor here.
Yeah, but poor Loogaroo is coming in here with the Master Sword and no hookshot. So it's going to be a little bit more of a adventure for Loogaroo.
Yeah, it kind of depends on how the keys are arranged in this dungeon as to how much of a pain it's going to be.
Yeah, DT's just forcing his way through this dungeon. Taking quite a beating, almost dying. But remembers the red goo from the Misery Mire shed.
That's probably it's much better to use that goo now than to die horribly and spend 2 minutes walking back just angry.
Man, he's just forcing his way through. Props to him. No safety items. Doesn't even opt to open up the safety door. Just blasts his way through there, taking every laser.
That's just man mode laser bridge. That's what that is.
If anything, this run is going to put some hair on his chest.
I'm not going to need any confirmation of that, though. I'll trust you that it was there.
I'll be hanging out with him at AGDQ, so I will get you confirmation on that post-haste.
Alright, awesome. Pixar didn't happen. Alright, Luke having a... Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. I was about to say he's having a pretty decent Ice Palace here, but the double Stalfos hit trick did elude him there.
The poor commentators curse, man. We gotta lay off these runners, man. We have to joke more and
talk
less
about what's
predictive.
happening less.
Yeah.
It's the stream meme dream. It's just nothing but memes all the time. And then Ninnies and Files subsequently never comment on another match for the rest of the tournament.
Oh yeah. I'm getting word now from our admins that everything is okay as long as we don't make any more puns.
Well, I don't think everything's gonna be okay then, my friend.
I know. It was nice commentating with you, my friend.
Yeah. It's like the end of Titanic. You know, we're playing the music, the ship's going down, but we're okay with it.
Oh yeah. I hope that you'll put the life preserver underneath the door so that we can both live.
Well, I mean, but I gotta have a life preserver for me, man.
Please don't ever let me go.
We don't need to. We already had the Swag Duck song. We don't need to get DCMA takedown for singing the Titanic theme song.
Yeah, and that song was so 1999.
You know what's not 1999? Finding awesome stuff in the Hookshot Cave.
Oh, I know, right? Let's
Actually,
see. The last two chests usually
when did this
have
game
something.
come out? It might have been 1990, mid-90s, wasn't it?
Like 90, 91, 92? Ooh, Loogaroo! Finding ether in Ice Palace.
Wow. Man, if it turns out something good is in... Oh man, that is a really good play. I'm really happy that this Ice Palace Gambit paid off for him here.
It does, but only if he finds boots here. He has no other way to get into Mire. He needs that hook shot.
I would imagine the temptation to go to Turtle Rock would be pretty high.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, that's more than likely where he's going next, but wow. Like, how long is it going to take DT to get to Ice Palace? Probably not that long, but, I mean, depending on where Loogaroo goes next, could really help him stay on pace with DT.
Oh yeah, well I mean, I could see DT doing kind of what he's doing now, checking a lot of overworld locations, you know, maybe hoping to find ether, but it's going to turn out it's in here.
Did you see that? He just got the mirror shield. That would have been so nice. This is another continuation of managed to be so great if...
Actually, it would have been even better as if Mirror Shield had been on the last chest on the laser bridge.
Oh god, you're so evil.
That would have been like, you wanted to get past the laser bridge? Here's how you get past the laser bridge. Loogaroo going to discover quite quickly that not having the hook shot here is going to put him in a little bit of trouble. Was he going to bomb jump it? Oh, close.
Yeah, I think he has no other way to get there.
This is a tough bomb jump, but doable. Alright, I'm getting confirmation from chat that Titanic was in 97, but it sounds like the song was on the radio a year or two after that. So thanks for the tips, chat. I really enjoyed Link to the Past Titanic-mizer.
Well, I mean, if it was all over the radio in 1999, how am I wrong?
You're never wrong, my friend. You can do no wrong after busting out the Swag Duck anthem.
I mean, at this point, it's all downhill.
Yes. I can't get any more cool, you guys.
It looks like Loogaroo is going right back into Ice Palace. Missed a couple of chests on the side that he couldn't get to. Oh no, wait, he died. Did he die?
Yeah, I think he. I was busy thinking about Titanic. I'm gonna be real with you. No, he mirrored out, is what he did actually.
Okay. But you're gonna be real with me about Titanic, how?
Oh, I said I was too busy thinking about Titanic to watch, but no, he actually just mirrored out.
Man,
but I was still thinking about Titanic while that was going on. I want you to know that. My heart never went on.
Quick, say no more.
I was holding on to that piece of driftwood, just thinking about how I get to put down one bomb but kill two stealthers at the same time. That's exactly what I was thinking about.
Oh god, who's cutting onions in here?
Alright, so DT, very luckily, making his way, well not luckily, it was a good choice, making his way into Ice Palace. He's going to be picking up ether in here, and he's going to be really happy to see that.
Yeah, unfortunately for Loogaroo.
Yeah, Loogaroo's real one-up awesome decision that could have put him ahead. She just kind of got a little bit canceled by DT's choice to head right here.
Yeah, Loogaroo unfortunately 2 crystals behind DT. At this point, needs to catch up with Turtle Rock and Palace of Darkness. The lamp is what really caused Loogaroo a lot of issues in this seed.
Yeah, I mean he's done very well for himself without it though. Second try through one of the hardest dark rooms in the game, in my opinion, the dark room in the back of Eastern Palace. Did pretty well in pod with it, but even well-executed dark rooms just take more time, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the longer that Loogaroo doesn't check the pyramid, we might even see a dark room in Mire. Ooh, Loogaroo without a key there. Oh no. Oh no, Loogaroo. Are we about to see a double mirror?
Oh no.
In ice? Oh no.
Oh, that just feels bad, man.
Yeah, Loogaroo's done with this dungeon for now.
Yeah, he sees like, you know what, screw you guys, I'm going home. Yeah. Oh no, wait.
Stays in there.
The perseverance, my boy Loogaroo just demonstrating that sometimes perseverance pays off. He knows he can do it, so he's like, you know what, this is happening. Alright, so we got ourselves some dual Ice Palace action here. Unfortunately, DT, with access to the hookshot, is just going to have a much easier time in this dungeon.
Oh yeah, it doesn't need a ball on the floor to fall down. Can just use the hookshot to skip these blocks as they move.
It's so funny, you get so used to having the hookshot in here. The one time you don't, you might just fall down the wrong side of the big key chest and then realize, you know, oh wait, I can very easily see that. You know, that's a very understandable position to find yourself in.
Yeah, and I think we're about to see probably a bomb jump from Loogaroo here. I think Loogaroo's done gambling in this play. It's just gonna go straight for cold stare. Oh no! Loogaroo does have a blue goo.
Well, it was
Didn't get one, but
it was a red goo. But I admire you for trying.
No. There was a definite blue goo in that inventory, my friend.
Oh yeah, he has it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to naysay you. He is in possession of blue goo, but yeah, he did utilize the red goo.
Oh my goodness. These bomb jumps. Send your energy. Give your energy to Loogaroo. Beautiful.
That was an instant energy transference, my friend. Well done. Alright, so yeah, DT is going to have the hookshot for this portion of the ice palacing. And the last penguin dies. the single arrow chest.
Alright, then that leaves just one more item in this dungeon.
Ninnies, I gotta ask you, what's your favorite troll item? Is it the single green rupee? Is it the single arrow? What makes you say, screw you, Randomizer, when you open it? Or is that just every single chest? Because that's how I feel like it is for me.
I mean,
anything that's not my last progression item.
Before they took Ruples out, doing like a hard randomizer.
Oh, the Rupors?
Yeah, the Rupors. So going up to Zora, spending 500 only to get a Rupor to have your remaining 20 taken away from you. I think that was just the worst. But I mean, as far as this goes, I think fetch quest items are often the worst. Going deep into a dungeon, finding a powder, a mushroom. Well, a powder not so much, but a mushroom or a shovel, especially late into a seed, you're just like, come on now.
Even worse, the fetch quest item that leads to the single arrow. That's just insulting.
Oh, or a massive one. Dare I say, a shovel to a mushroom to a powder to the single arrow.
I just threw up a little bit again.
Again? What was the first time?
I don't know. I remember saying that at least once already tonight. I have a minimum 3 vomit bag commentary rule, so you only got 1 more before I'm out, man. Try to rein it in a little bit.
But a beautiful execution of a low percent, or almost low percent, cold stare fight using the Master Sword to do those sword spins.
Yeah, worked out pretty well. Lou got the nice setup, grouped the clouds up in the corner, got him a little tighter than DT did, actually.
Oh yeah.
But DT did have tempered, so that does make that go just a little bit quicker.
But it's interesting, DT still chose to use Bombos as opposed to the Fire Rod. Perhaps that's just so that way the Fire Rodding of Cold Stare could happen more aggressively.
Yeah, as somebody who personally uses Bombos whenever I have it for Cold Stare, I don't know if it's just in my head or I feel like the rhythm of when I get the setup is just more consistent for me for Bombos. But I will always use it just for both the consistency of the setup and for having more Fire Rod shots for when things inevitably go to hell and I mess it up.
So I think what we're going to see here very shortly is a Desert Palace, or not Desert Palace, but a Mire to Desert Palace probably situation, but they still need to find the boots. Desert Palace cannot be completed without the red stiletto.
That is correct. We're if I had to guess, if I was a gambling man, Ninnies, if I was a gambling man, I would say they're probably in Swamp. Because Swamp was hookshot gated.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. You know, we haven't seen Swamp from either of our runners. They both had access to get in there fairly early.
Could also be in Mire, though. I guess Mire was also technically hookshot gated. The whole thing was, as opposed to the Swamp one.
That is correct. Loogaroo, though, needs to get to Turtle Rock to get that hookshot.
He does. I don't blame him for finishing off Pod here just to get it done.
Not at all.
He needs to definitely needs to head to Turtle Rock. I agree with you, sir.
Yeah, Loogaroo needs to catch up with the dungeons. DT finds Quake, but it's not needed for anything, so just go ahead and leave it. But yeah, Loogaroo's abandoned a couple of dungeons. Abandoned Thieves Town, abandoned Palace of Darkness. Still without the lamp, though. So another try at this dark room. Once again, chat, send Loogaroo your energy to get through this place.
This dark room not quite as bad when you have the fire rod though, because you can light the torches in the turtle room. Luke quickly finding out that you cannot use the boomerang to flip those turtles upside down, unfortunately. Oh, Sahasra has the silvers!
Beautiful silver arrows.
He's got his own silversmith in that little hut. Not a lot of business. Wow, there were a lot of turtles gathered around that torch.
Old man working magic with arrows over here.
Alright, so looks like we're seeing DT heading over to Swamp.
Maybe. He could also... Has he checked Bombos?
Oh yeah, he could do that. If
I know one of our racers has checked...
Oops, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, it's like, okay, he's going to Swamp, but yeah, I think only one of our racers has actually checked Bombos.
I'm pretty sure somebody checked Bombos. It's been a long, wild ride, but I don't remember who, but somebody has checked Bombos. I think it was DT, actually. Help me out, chat. Which one of them checked Bombos? Helmetsor giving Luke a little bit of the business there.
Alright, looks like DT has checked both Bombos and Ether.
Alright, thanks, chat.
Alright, so...
reminding us that he checked Bombos, so thanks, buddy. That's good to know.
Yeah. Well, I think he means just on the tracker. Like he literally clicked and checked Bombos.
We need Bombos and Ether portions of the tracker. I'm all for it.
Alright, so yeah, I'm with you. Boots gotta be here. Boots gotta be here, or Mire, but hoping here. because Loogaroo might be headed that way shortly.
I really hope Loogaroo goes to Turtle Rock before he goes to Swamp on a gamble.
Yeah, but I'm liking coming here to get his silver arrows.
Yep, silvers for Loogaroo. It's an important pickup.
Yeah, I mean, with the Master Sword still in tow, the silver arrows are really going to help out.
Yeah, there's nothing more gross than silverless Master Sword Ganon.
Yeah. Or
except for maybe Baguano.
Master Sword Vitreous.
Fighter Sword Vitreous.
Ugh. Don't even get me started.
I need to go use my third vomit bag. I'll be right back. Hold on a second.
Are you collecting these? Do you take a lot of flights?
This commentary brought to you by Delta.
I was about to say, grab me a Delta one to vomit into.
We're just trying to... Ninnies and I are just desperately trying to sell out. He tried to sell it to Dolby Digital. I'm trying to sell it to Delta. We're just trying to get the stream sponsored, you guys.
I mean, with all the bad flat that they had in the media recently, they do need some personalities to really repair their image.
That's true. Randomizer may be tough, but Randomizer will never walk into your plane and beat the crap out of you and take you off of it. DT going straight to the back of Swamp. Not a bad play. If you're only missing an item or two, going right to the back of Swamp just to take out Argus is the play to make.
Alright, looks like Loogaroo is going to be making his way over to the right side of Death Mountain. Super excited because this means the potential for a Turtle Rock play and getting that hook shot.
Yeah, we really want to see Lug make this play, so good on him for making it. He's going to be real happy with what he finds in here. And if you're like me when you're playing a seed like this, when you finally get like an item like the hook shot in here, you just want to bang your head on the desk for a good 5 seconds.
Oh man, so this is a great play. DT decided to go up first to go pick up the chest, gets himself the big key, and then maneuvers himself down this way, so that way picking up those two chests and headed towards the big chest. I like that one.
Although he didn't do the fancy trick that lets you not have to go up and down the stairway a couple extra times. But that's
yeah,
all right.
without the boots, that's a little bit tricky.
Oh yeah, that's right, no boots. Well played, Ninnies. Well played.
He had no choice but to moonwalk down the staircase again.
He was just doing his best Michael Jackson impersonation. Shimon, Ninnies. Shimon.
Shimon.
Opting not to go to the gross, disgusting west side of Swamp, though. Can't say I blame him. If he really wants it bad enough, he could do it after Argus, I guess.
But the boots could be on the west side.
West side? Yay, yay! Sorry, I got a little too excited there.
Interesting. Chat is correct. DT is close to the elite rupee count.
Then it would really be the late 1990s, wouldn't it?
It would be. All those years spent in the forums.
With your elite hacks. Not quite sure what Lug is doing here on the torch game. Maybe he missed one and just wants to loop back around and reset it.
It seems to be that way.
He doesn't have the hook shot. Yep, that's what it is. Who hasn't done that before? You're so used to having the hook shot by the time you get to Turtle Rock, because it's often one of the last crystal dungeons you do.
Oh yeah, especially if you practice randomizer tricks on the practice ROM, it's going to give you the hook shot.
Yep, every time.
DT missing the quick Argus kill. Aiming to shoot him with the silver arrows. Ooh,
And
this is even
failing
trickier.
horribly, unfortunately. There we go, 4th time's a charm. Or maybe it was the 5th. Meanwhile,
Right.
Lug avoiding roller bars like it's his business there. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have the hook shot, so he can't abuse those immunity frames.
Yeah, it doesn't have Cape or Bryna either, so... It's about the best you can do on the fly. Alright, I'm seeing a lot of A Macarena in the chat, so I hope some mods are here to hand out some bans. Kappa, no Kappa.
Well, it depends if our mods have found the hammer yet.
we're just busting out all the all the 90s references. Get out your parachute pants, guys. It's time to start the hammer time. All right,
So DT making his way back in.
Yeah, DT electing to do the west side of swamp.
I mean, you gotta. You're still looking for at least one item, which is the boots.
And if you don't check this now, not only is it going to be bothering you for the rest of the game, but it's also less efficient because the waters have already, you know, all the water gates that on the way there have all been pulled already except for this last one. So if you're ever going to do it and want to do it effectively, you might as well do it now.
Yeah, DT letting us know that he ain't no crook because he's not a part of those Watergate games. That's
I thought you were gonna make a.
That is that is like a 1970s, 1960s joke brought back from the grave.
We're going back in time. I thought you were gonna make a, like, you know, DT's gonna need to go check the waterfall of wishing and not go chasing waterfalls. He needs to stick to the swamps and the mires that he's used to.
You know, I like that better. Let's go with that from now on forever because mine was just a pure wash.
A wash? Is that another water joke?
It may have been, yes.
Alright, time to see if this left side swamp play is gonna pay off here. Because we really need to find ourselves some buttes.
Now I like this. I like going the left side first to hookshot over to the skull pot.
You do have to correctly hit the skull pot though.
That is true.
You can't pull yourself over on air. I've always said that. Oh, and the gamble it failed, unfortunately. Can't blame DT for doing it though.
Nope. So outside of having to utilize perhaps either the mushroom or powder to find the boots, we're looking at mire for the boot location. So yes, if it's here, you have to go to Turtle Rock first, get that hook shot, and then utilize that to get to Misery Mire. But given that Loogaroo just got his hook shot not too long ago, we could see a Swamp Palace play from Loogaroo before heading to Mire.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. Luga's gonna have to hope for all the time skips he can get to do some catching up to DT, unfortunately. So if he can get away with little stuff like DT deciding to skip the bird toss and just straight up murder him, that's ice cold.
I am a little bit disappointed.
It's funny, Ninnies, because the bird was made of ice.
I see what you did there.
Was it?
And I missed it.
It wasn't actually funny. I was fishing.
It's alright, I dropped the Hindenburg on that one.
But yes, anyway, Luke definitely needs to do the little stuff, like maybe hopefully not having to clear the left side of swamp to make up as much time as he can here. We need a pun jar. I would just need like one of those giant 2-gallon ice cream buckets.
Oh, yeah, it looks like one of our chatters is happy about the Hindenburg joke.
Luga, by the way, showing off some dark turtle rock here. This can be a little tricky if you're unprepared. Ooh, does avoid the damage with a hook shot. Does manage to get through.
Although this second part isn't as dangerous. As long as you hold left, as soon as you start moving down, you can continue holding down and you're fine.
That is correct.
Getting through that second bit of it is not as dangerous as the first bit.
I was a little bit more worried about just him dying from a fire bar, but he did manage to skip the damage on one of them, so good on him for that.
And drinking the blue goo to rejuvenate both his confidence and his health.
Yeah, Loogaroo with the blue goo too. He's not gonna rue drinking that. I'd rather have beef stew. Although if you have too much, you have to go to the loo.
Okay, you took it too far.
All this monkeying around, you're gonna have to throw me in the zoo. Alright, Loogaroo, definitely doing a pretty decent job on the laser bridge here. This is a lot harder than it looks without the boots, so if you can get by with only a shot or two on each one, you're doing pretty good, I think.
Yeah, and not just brute forcing it, actually getting right up to that that little last minute ledge that you have to get around, timing these lasers out. Had to brute force that last one though. Was hoping to find those boots.
Well, DT did man mode the first laser bridge, so I appreciate Loogaroo, staying on brand.
Yeah, luckily DT has the hook shot to get here. Normally, if you don't have the hook shot and you're looking for it, you have to race around that corner.
Oh,
there they are!
The boots in the big key chest in Misery Mire. That is just misery right there. This whole dungeon is just appropriately named.
That's bad. That's really bad because that really helps with the parallel dungeon takedown of Mire and Desert.
Yeah, I think unfortunately that really hurt Loogaroo's chances. Unless he makes the hero call to go to Mire. But he can't. Or no, he can. He could go to Mire first and then go mode clear swamp, couldn't he?
Yeah. If he went Mire first, he'd be able to blitz through swamp, and that would help him catch up with DT because DT did have to double dip into that dungeon in order to complete it while he was searching for those boots.
And actually, DT did. I don't blame him for his choice, but he did do swamp a little bit, kind of maximum inefficiency with going down and then back up and then down and then all the way back in on the left side of it again.
Oh man, Loogaroo in trouble here.
I believe. Oh man, he's playing with fire, literally. Oh jeez.
Oh man.
Ah!
I know. I'm too scared for him to make jokes.
I know. I can't. You know it's real when even I'm not making stupid puns. Oh, he got him.
All right. He still has to get through the last bit. I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't either. Oh man, this is tense.
Huh.
Oh jeez, he did it. He got around. All right, this is free if you take your time. Take your time, Loog.
He needs to not do so. Yeah, there you go. More broader circles.
I think he's being smart here and not using the hammer because that's risky.
Yeah, with as low as health he's got, I wouldn't either. One more hit.
How long? Oh, what are you doing? Oh, he got it.
He got him.
Yeah.
He got him.
Loogaroo with the clutch plays.
I mean, in the meantime, DT got a crystal. That's cool. But the hype fight for Loogaroo.
Yeah, that was Silver's Vitreous is just free. But you know what's not free? Master Sword Trinex with 2 hearts left.
Yeah, not at all.
DT with the nice dash through to kill that little sandpit guy. That's always a cool trick to see.
Oh yeah, Chat was really putting up the support for Loogaroo here, clenching for him. Unfortunately, Loogaroo has not checked this cave, and I think Loogaroo did the spike cave, so after this, it's likely we're going to see him choose his next destination. We hope that it's Mire.
Yeah, Loogaroo can actually make up a lot of time if he goes to Mire first.
Oh wow, both shield upgrades were here. You got the second one in the first chest, and then the last one is the mirror shield.
Yep.
Oh wait, what?
No, remember the mirror shield was in the troll. Remember we were talking about it? It would have been perfect if it had been in Laser Bridge. It wasn't
That's
there,
right.
but I don't remember exactly where it was.
Okay, so then there's a shield upgrade that I missed. Yeah, Master Sword does not do anything to those guys.
I wonder what Loogaroo's doing here. Was he debating doing Spike Cave? I don't remember if he checked it or not.
I don't know. Maybe it's just so habitual going to Ganon's Tower right after Turtle Rock.
I think Spike Cave was the shield upgrade, if I remember correctly, now that I think about it. I think
yeah,
I
that could be right. All right, so he's fluting. This is a good sign.
All right, Mire. Send Mire thoughts. No.
Nope. He's going to swamp.
You know, I can't blame him. You know, there's a reason that DT went to swamp. It has more chests. And Mire can be a giant waste of time if the big key is early and you have to run around getting all the small keys that are in all the rest of the chests.
Yeah, I mean, Loogaroo is probably like looking at it like this, you know. I've seen a lot of these races lately where Mire had something important, but there's no way that that's going to happen to me, right? Like, I'm going to be the one seed that if I made that decision to not go there, it's the correct decision.
If I was playing this seed, I would just say out loud to myself, there's no possible way an item can be in X, and then just go there to try to bait the rando gods.
Yeah. And so with that, DT has completed all pendant dungeons and all crystal dungeons on his way to G Tower at 1:50. So everybody gets to play their favorite game. Which chest has the big key? I'm going to head over to my co-commentator here. What do you think?
Let's see here. What's the mojo that I'm feeling right now? I am thinking right now that the big key is going to be in the rando room.
Aptly named.
12.
Chest number 12? I'm gonna
that
go.
That could be a randomizer room chest.
I'm gonna go with tile room. I'm gonna be that guy.
You're gonna go tile room? You're
tile
gonna
room.
play the crowd and choose tile room. I can respect that, Ninnies. I can respect that.
I mean, we got to get back some love and infections. Apparently, we're getting close on that three strike rule. So we need some people on our side for our case when we bring it up to the court.
to commentator court. It's much better than night court if we're gonna keep making, you know, old references.
Oh yeah, as long as we don't have Judge Judy.
Judge Judy. Good stuff. You know, the more I think about it, the more I like your suggestion of tile room. Because if I'm Loogaroo, I'm definitely feeling like I'm behind with a couple of the dungeon double dips he's end up having to do. So he could go crazy and do tile room first. I mean, that saves, what, like 5 minutes on a pretty decent GT clear?
It does, but, I mean...
It's objectively a bad idea.
It's yeah, absolutely, but it's, oh man, it's a lot of time for Loogaroo just to blast through. If he decides to go mode this dungeon and just completely like omit the entire left side, it could save him some time, but he still has to clear Mire all the way through and Desert Palace.
Yeah, it would be nice. I mean, everyone checks this one chest. Everyone checks this one chest in Swamp, so it'll be real telling where he goes after this.
Oh, small key. DT opting to go right side.
Kind of a fan of this play. If DT's worried about Loogaroo being real close behind him, doing a quick right side check kind of minimizes any huge time differences between him and his opponent.
Oh yeah, I mean with something like Boots and Mire, and then where we know that Loogaroo had Ether before DT did.
Yeah, that is correct. He did go into ice before DT did, although they ended up in there right around the same time, if memory serves. I think that was chest 6 that we're up to so far, if my ability to count is on point, which it sometimes isn't.
You are correct, that is 6. Alright, torch here is going to be 7. The Cane of Burna. So we're going to see Bob. DT choosing not to get the Burna Cane. Lag Cane, as it's sometimes known.
Rip Bob.
Oh no, not Rip Bob. Hooray Bob. We're going to see a Bob.
Oh yeah, exactly. But I mean, you know, rip the chances, because it's going to be in Randomizer room, like I called it, so we're not going to see him either way. Did I recover from that sufficiently?
You did.
Alright, thanks.
You trying to work on your wizardry skills today?
I do my best.
I've always liked to see that the hook shot to get underneath the fire bars saves a little bit of time.
And it looks cool.
Oh yeah.
We're getting real close to my prediction here, so I'm feeling strong. It just needs to not be in this chest here. Oh, DT hugging the wall and in turn hugging a fire bar there.
Yeah, often or recently I've learned to fire the hookshot back.
Oh, instead of bonking off the side of the wall there?
Yeah, there's been too many times that I have tried to do that and accidentally grabbed the wall.
Did you just pay DT to do that as an example for you? Because that seems like it would be unfair.
No comment. I definitely don't need any help coming up with really weird theories as to why I do certain things.
I don't need help fighting bad strats files. Oh, I was
Whoa! Right! You're a wizard!
BRB, guys. I'm gonna go check out some lottery tickets. I'll let you know how it worked out.
I get half of that, right? I mean, we've been through so much recently.
We have. But you're not getting half.
Oh man, can I at least sniff the
all
ticket,
of it, buddy?
Can I at least sniff the ticket before you turn it in?
Okay, now I'm taking it back. You're not getting any anymore. Also, I'm blocking you from all the text messages.
Oh no, I'm not the wizard, Chaos. Files is the wizard. Gotta give credit where credit is due.
I mean, I did take my time. I tried to assess the mojo of the seed. It was speaking to me. It was saying troll seed. Pedestal.
Not gonna touch that one with the 10-foot pole.
We've had a lot of vomit bags and 10-foot poles in this commentary, Ninnies. I don't know what that means.
I don't know, but it sounds like the beginning of a beautiful friendship, or the last time
or
we
a
ever commented
disgusting
together.
Friendship. Full of 10-foot poles and vomit.
I mean, as long as they're not like coordinated, like as long as we don't do both of those activities together.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah,
I like
we're
the
not.
way you think.
We're not pole vaulting our Delta vomit bags.
I don't even know how that works. I don't think that's going to be on the Olympics anytime soon, man.
You know, I for one am thankful of that. It sounds like a really bad summer's game.
Yeah, just imagine the smell on that hot asphalt.
Rather not. Let's go on.
Sorry, you painted such a beautiful picture. I had to imagine it, and I just immediately regretted it.
Yeah, it started as painting, but just turned into watercolors.
Alright, Loogaroo taking on Argus here. Argus a little bit more annoying with Master Sword instead of Tempered, because you gotta whack him twice.
Yeah, but not
So
as
some
bad
people
as
like
with the fighter sword, because you actually have to utilize the hammer.
Yeah, or you can hold out the Fighter Sword and do the spin tech on it too.
Ooh, nice demonstration of the cane dash.
DT going for the swag here. Can't say I blame him.
Oh yeah.
And it looks like both of our runners have the same silver arrow lock. Oh, Luke manages to do it on shot number 2, which is I think about 12 shots before DT did. Alright, DT successfully doesn't despawn all the sprites in G Tower, so that's always a bullet dodge.
Oh yeah, you never want to see that. At least for fans of Loogaroo, you would want to see that, because that forces GT to go through GT for another like 5-minute loss.
That would be another DT GT OMG. Alright, Loogaroo walking over here, I think.
Oh, he's doing the powder glitch.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, expending all of his magic, trying to use Samaria, switching over to the mushroom, gets you the same ability as powder, so that way he can refill up on those hearts.
Yeah, that's actually, I remember seeing all the discussion of that in Discord. And I was like, I guess that would be useful, you know, for the mad batter. But getting your health back in the top of G Tower, pretty good application of it, actually. DT showing off that hot new tech.
Yeah, I mean, at this case, if Loogaroo doesn't go to check Smiths, we may see a unnecessary Master Sword Ganon strat.
I'm mostly just sad that the DT went right past the validation chest.
As is chat, we're already seeing the disqualifications and the invalid notifications, and also not to add on to that, but DT has the bug net. Why is he not using it on Aghanim? That's the only way I know how to defeat him.
Wait, you can use the sword?
Apparently.
Wow. I'm learning all kinds of new inferior techniques here.
Very inferior.
Our good friend Tear, who is running the tracker right now, did show off the bugnet strats last race. So I feel like I've gotten at least some of my fill today.
Oh, the disrespect of what DT's doing to poor Aghanim there.
Wow, just kicking dirt right in his face.
Just dusting the guy.
That ain't right.
Yeah, definitely give a follow to our runners in the name of DT and Loogaroo for putting on a good race for us tonight. Unfortunately, some of the choices that Loogaroo made and some of the misfortunes that happened in Ice Palace and in Thieves Town just gave DT time to swim ahead. So, I mean, this is only the first round in Swiss, so they still got 5 more after this, so it will not be the last time that you see these racers.
Oh, definitely not. And Luger had a couple of really good choices in this seed. Going to Ice Palace early was definitely the right call, and something that he did that DT did not. But I think it was a tale of a lantern and no lantern, and a couple of dungeon entries more for Loogaroo, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is a tough one.
Ooh, excuse me. DT doing some work on Ganon here. Silvers and Tempered, you're having a good time.
Now, Tempered, much easier than Master Sword. You just have to slice him 12 times from the first 2 phases, and then just once on each of these. If Loogaroo's gonna get the Tempered Sword, but if Loogaroo had gone all the way with the Master Sword, it's an awful lot of spins, 24 spins, to get through the first 2 phases.
Yeah, that's never a good time. Alright, DT.
And that's it.
Taking out the
in,
blue pig.
Yeah, coming in with an official SRL time of 2:02:17.
Yeah, well played to DT there. Let's get some GGs in chat for our winner of today's matchup in the name of DT.
Yeah, let's talk about this seed. Just a brief summary of it. Book early, leading to pedestal information. Silvers were at Sahasrara. You had to go into Mire to get boots. Chodorok led you to Hookshot, which led you into Mire. I mean, this seed just had a nice little trail. But yeah, unfortunately, just, you know, it was a little bit too much for his contender, Loogaroo.
Yeah, it was definitely kind of a tight beginning, and then after that, it was just kind of breadcrumb to breadcrumb to breadcrumb, just kind of dungeon to dungeon. So, but I mean, when you've got a pedestal seed early, you know, you're looking at clearing every single dungeon in the game. You know, it just comes down to a lot of really solid routing choices and a lot of good execution. Alright, let's see if we can't get in the name of DT in here for some post-game interviewing.
I do believe he is already here. How's it going, DT?
Going well, Ninnies. How are you?
Doing fantastic. First of all, GG's to you.
Thank you.
I've got to ask you, DT, how did you feel? You get early book, and you're like, I wonder if I should check Pedestal. What was going through your mind on the way there, and what did you say out loud when you found out what was on the pedestal?
You know, when I was heading to check it, I figured I would just pair it up with checking the sit could justify doing something like that. And I actually had to double read it because I've never seen the fire rod at the pedestal, so I wasn't sure what the text would be. But it was like, "I'm the hot rod." My first thought was, "You're like a muscle car? That doesn't make any sense." No, I was like, "Oh, well." Based on the 2 pendants in the light world, I knew that there could only be 1 pendant in the dark world, and even if Skull Woods or Turtle Rock were one of them, I would need the fire rod for the other. So I knew right away it was definitely a required thing because fire rod is not always required.
No, that was some excellent deduction on your part, for sure. I think that, having access to that knowledge so early, your opponent did the same thing. He checked the pedestal quite soon after you did. So, how did you feel knowing, you had 100% dungeon clear on your plate for a seed like this?
You know what? It actually isn't such a bad thing. I greatly prefer going through and clearing all the dungeons knowing that I'd need to do the pedestal rather than just clearing all the dungeons and being unlucky.
Yeah, I mentioned something along that, like seeing a early pedestal seed, especially like, the first 20 minutes in, means that there's really no wrong gamble. You have to complete each dungeon.
Exactly. Yep, and as soon as I got the mirror out of, where was the mirror? Pod. As soon as I got the mirror out of Pod, I was thinking, I need to go straight up there and take care of the Tower of Hera.
Oh yeah, we were kind of giggling to ourselves a little bit because there was multiple items in this seed where you came up across like some kind of adversity or limit, like mirror and Pod. You had to do hammer on blind, and it's just one of those situations where you think to yourself, man, it would be so much easier if I had this item, and then all of a sudden it's there. It's right there. You got your first sword as blind. You got the mirror in Palace of Darkness. And the mirror shield, you got
almost right after Turtle Rock.
Yeah, almost right after Turtle Rock. It was just one of those things where it's just like one slap on the face after another.
Yeah, the mirror shield, I actually was like, it wasn't the item I found. I'd rather find nothing. As for finding the sword right after blind, that was... I've never fought blind with the hammer, and I was really glad to find an extra container before so.
Yeah,
and that was something.
Yeah, speaking of something that I wish that I had much longer ago, Loogaroo just now making the excursion over to the pyramid and getting the lamp.
Yeah, that'll be something he's going to be kicking himself for not finding an hour ago, unfortunately.
Yeah, your opponent was doing a really good job keeping up with you. In some regards, was a little bit ahead of you, but it was a 2 deaths in Thieves Town. A lot of trouble in Ice Palace. Unfortunately, had to mirror twice to maneuver around Ice Palace. So it was just a case of unfortunate situations for Loogaroo today.
Oh, that's unfortunate to hear. He's a good guy, and since the spring tournament, I've been kind of watching him get better and better with his gameplay. So I mean, he's got a lot to be proud of, though. He's made a lot of improvements since the spring when I first met him. So I was actually really happy to be racing against a buddy right in the first one.
Yeah, he's definitely a player that has been putting in the time, doing a lot of races and just constantly improving. And any racer that has qualified for this tournament is definitely worthy of praise and definitely worthy of a follow. So make sure you give a follow to our 2 runners here, in the name of DT and Loogaroo.
Yeah, because you have to think about, we have so many people that entered this tournament that we have a secondary tournament going for the people that unfortunately either just had a bad time in the qualifiers or are still fairly new that still want to participate in this. So there's an entire secondary tournament, if you guys do not know, of just amazing runners that you guys should still check out.
Alright, so we do see Loogaroo making his way into Mire here, and he's going to be happy with what he finally finds. Can't say I blame him for not wanting to do Dark Mire. That's never a good time, trying to get that block lined up in the dark.
Yeah, very, very happy for Loogaroo to not be in Misery Mire in the dark.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been fun. I'll tell you though, when I found the first item in Misery Mire and saw the mushroom, I started to flip.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
my first thought was the boots are going to be from the mushroom.
we were thinking something evil like that. You know, the mushroom actually leading to vanilla powder, then powder leading to book.
Yeah, we were trying to cook up a lot of troll scenarios.
Yeah, that would have been one for the books, that's for sure.
Now, see, that's a really kind of trolly location for that big key to be. We know that the big key leads to the boots in Misery Mire, but I mean, getting a key that early and you have small keys. What was your like thought process? Did you think about going to Vitreous first and then coming back through Misery Mire for the remaining chest?
I really didn't, because getting through those first couple rooms in Mire are a little bit time consuming, and the chance of Vidi even having one of the dungeon item or non-dungeon items seems slim enough that I didn't want to take the risk.
Plus, you save
Speaking
yourself
of risk,
another run in and out of the dungeon too, from the beginning.
now there are a couple of things that we got to talk about that happened in your run that were kind of interesting. The first of which was your first death to the crab, and then your eventual revenge killing of a cousin of the crab that netted you that last rupee that you needed for Zora.
Oh yeah, that was something.
And then we gotta talk about the mini Moldorm cave. Where you utilized your whole arsenal against those mini Moldorms.
You know,
That's not hyperbole. That was your entire arsenal.
It really was. Yeah, you're right. I thought that I could get at the bottom of the screen and just kind of shoot up that narrow path with the arrows and be okay until I kept on getting hugged and kissed by the Moldorms, and that didn't work. So yeah, eventually I just had to try other things because that wasn't working.
Yeah, I had to say that after Dead Rocks, mini Moldworms might be my number 2 most annoying enemy in the game that's not a boss or something.
But yeah, big props to both of you guys. I mean, you guys both did early Eastern Palace. Loogaroo had a little bit of trouble, but like both of you guys decided to brave it without a sword and just used your bow to kind of see where your sprite was.
Yeah, I was actually sweating that Igor room a little bit because there was I didn't have a sword to just quickly swing out and kill a couple of those popos. I was really at the mercy of the RNG in that room.
Yeah, I was actually pretty impressed with both of the two of you having cleared that room out. That is definitely one of my least favorite dark rooms in this game. One other thing we need to ask you about, DT. How did it feel to take out your rage on the pedestal when you went to go pull it? Was it cathartic?
It was about as enjoyable as you would think it is. 10 out of 10 would do again.
We have information from Loogaroo that refuses to forfeit. Loogaroo will see this seed through to the end.
Fantastic. Gotta be proud of that.
Honestly, that kind of attitude has really been serving him well in this seed. You know, he failed the Eastern Palace Dark Room once, went right back in and totally just nailed it. And the perseverance has definitely paid off for Loogaroo and what is, you know, by all definitions, is kind of a trolley seed. So mad props to Loogaroo. Make sure you send him your energy.
Give him a follow too. He's a real good dude. All of you, go click that follow button on Loogaroo's page.
I'm gonna assume that was the sound of you clicking follow on his page, Ninnies.
It absolutely was and was not a impromptu coughing fit.
Oh no, you were so happy to click follow on twitch.tv/Loogaroo that your lungs could not handle the joy and excitement and decided to have a party.
Well, speaking of his lungs, I hear that someone was a bit of a vocalist this evening.
Oh yes, he was. You're gonna have to listen to the VOD, my friend, and you will have a good time.
I'm probably gonna watch the whole thing right after this anyway.
Alright, so Loogaroo making his way through desert here. He is going to pick up the the one piece of boots requiredness in this seed, which is the key on the torch here. Been an epic journey to find those boots, but he's here and he's ready to use that key.
Really liking the Luigi sprite too. I've never seen it.
Yeah, chat was enjoying the Luigi sprite, and I can't speak for Ninnies, but I also was enjoying the Luigi sprite. Oh, Cannonball's giving him a little bit of trouble, but that big key means he can get right back out and go punch some Landmollas. I don't know if that Landmollas have face, but if Landmollas do have face, he's gonna punch him in it. Oh, I do have confirmation that chat is going to be sad that there will be no red mail. I don't think I've seen the Luigi sprite with blue mail, but I don't think I've ever seen it with red mail. Does he basically just look like Mario? Or does he have the inverted colors?
I kind of hope he gets
know.
pink, like in Smash Brothers.
Ooh, I like this idea. Somebody in chat who's used this sprite, let me know. What does it look like? Sounds like we're getting confirmation that it is the pink color, Ninnies. So your hopes and dreams might have just come true.
Beautiful.
I have to say, one of my favorite additions to the randomizer as of late has been just the plethora of really cool sprites made by the community. Really lets you kind of put your own personal touch on how you like to run the seeds.
Oh yeah, and I've known a couple of people that have created sprites for this, so they're always taking submissions and stuff like that. It takes a little bit of time just to make sure that these sprites work and they're at the same height, so you can still do the same bomb jumps and various you have the actual height of where your character is, so you don't accidentally get hit by something.
Yeah, if you've ever seen one of the uncompressed sprite sheets, it's definitely a lot of work. So the people that put the time in to make a really well-crafted sprite definitely deserve thanks, because it is definitely a super cool feature. Alright, so that is crystal number 7 for our buddy Loogaroo, and pendant number 3, crystal number 7. He is just showing Hyrule the business. I think the only thing our runners have not done is Aghanim 1.
Yeah, in this seed, that would be the one. Loogaroo getting himself a refill of Blue Goo.
He wants the Loogaroo Blue Goo too.
I guess you could say it's like a Breaking 2 electric Loogaroo. Oh, I messed it up.
Ooh, DT getting in on the action.
That was way better than the crappy line I had about 50 minutes ago when I first started making that joke, Tim. Where were you? I needed you.
I was racing. Sorry.
Oh, how dare you, sir? How dare you?
I mean, do you exactly expect him to jump in the commentary like, "Hey guys, how's the race going? Get back to your race, DT."
Quick, DT, I know you're racing, but I need some puns. Help me out, buddy.
People calling out for Gatorade. Who needs Gatorade right now?
I actually have a bottle sitting next to me. I'm sipping on it during the race.
Hydrate to B grade.
Just the regular grape flavor. I like it.
Alright, so Loogaroo making his way over to G Tower. I mean, we could decide to play the G Tower big key game, big key chess game again, but I already won it the first time, so.
I mean, I'm gonna guess that it's in the rando room.
Wow, what kind of strange mystery led you to come to that conclusion, sir?
I just have this feeling. It's almost like I've seen it before, but I don't think it's this seed. I think it's the first chest at the bottom left.
That's crazy talk, man. You get out of here with your logic. What I'm hoping for is not to see the towel room out of Lug. I can't imagine why he would do it.
I mean, just for fun?
That's true. In fact, you know what? I'm changing my mind. Tile room. Oh no, he just mirrored out. The tile room dream is dead, guys.
Unless he's gonna do what is known as the Dark Magician.
That's true. Although, isn't the Dark Magician where you check these chests first and then go to the right side?
I do believe that is the move.
Alright, Luke checking out the Stalfos room. He is on his way to the G-Tower Big Key. He's got a few chests to check on the way there, though. And a few Stalfos to kill. You know, while we're ranking my least favorite lesser enemies in this game, I think Red Stalfos might be number 3 behind Dead Rocks and Mini Moldworms.
I feel that way too. Although chat is asking an important question, is it possible to have a completely swordless seed up until Ganon? It depends. In a seed like this, no. Because you need to have the sword in order to cut the vines that lead up to Mothula. But if it does, it can happen, but it'll be one of those situations where it's really unfortunate. Just to wait that long without a sword. I don't think that this logic would allow for it.
I think with 4 swords in the pool, even if it was a late requirement, I think the odds of you getting one are, you know, it could theoretically happen, but very unlikely, I think.
Mothula can be killed entirely with a fire rod, yes, but you need a sword to get to him.
Yeah, you will always have at least fighter sword when you're fighting Mothula.
Yeah, that's
if you
why
have just fighter sword and hammer, you're probably better off using the hammer after you get rid of your fire rod charges.
Yeah. The only difference between that and why there are swordless seeds available is they change that so that way that door is always in the state of being open.
Which is a really neat mode, by the way. If you're looking for an interesting challenge, playing a swordless seed is always a good time. And by good time, I mean intense.
Not at all like camping?
All right, you got the pity chuckles out of me. Well played, sir. Even though I saw that one coming.
It was the delay.
It was. We're gonna stick with that.
At least that's what I hope so. Nice setup here from Loogaroo.
Yeah, I still do the lame slash your sword and have the mimics move while your sword is slashing technique, but properly executed, I believe that technique that Loogaroo did is a little faster.
Yeah, using the sword to slash a couple of directions to your left, you can manipulate them right, and then kind of using that little ledge right there to continue to face down while you move them over is the fastest strat.
Yeah, I was definitely a runner that approached this game with zero NMG experience. I just kind of started running the randomizer and watching the tournament last year, or the tournament that happened earlier this year. So it's always interesting kind of coming at this from a purely randomizer perspective, and then you watch a few NMG videos or NMG runners and you're like, oh wait, this would be useful in the randomizer. It's like it's the same game or something.
Another thing that's really interesting is just how many additional skips and minor glitches that have kind of come up, like utilizing mushroom as powder if you don't have powder, and how many other bomb jumps we've found ever since the randomizer getting super popular and reaching out to a much bigger community. So it's always crazy to learn brand new things about a game that some people have been running for years.
Oh yeah, like when in any category in Link to the Past would powderless powder ever be useful? But it sure can be in the randomizer. Luke busted out the Silver Arrows Landmo strats. I'm usually pretty happy with the 2 cycle there. 1 cycle is nice, but 2 cycle is definitely very solid.
Oh yeah. getting those silver arrow shots on Lamo can be a little bit tricky if you have just trouble with Lamolas in general. Some people often look for a tell when the sprite is going to go, and some people still do the Lamolas fight by listening to the music. So they'll start firing when it goes from the dun 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 dun. It starts going to the more up-tempo stuff is when they'll start firing. Ooh, got hit by the... Oh no!
Oh, the fire bar. Yeah, my strategy for Landmill has always been to try to listen to the sound and look at the visual cue, and then shoot the arrow too early, miss, frantically try to recover from my mistake, miss again, and then switch to the fire rod or the sword. So not quite as efficient.
But with it just takes a lot of practice to get to that. It's never a possibility for most of our runners in this, because I do believe that ever since the last tournament and with all these new runners, I can't imagine that a lot of them have reached out to, you know, people that got really far in the tournament last year, people that often do randomizers such as DT, Willard, and Sakura, as well as Andy, that, like, you know, ask questions, get these strats, and discover new ways to get through this game even faster.
Oh yeah, there's I think one of the reasons I like this game so much is that it's very approachable. You know, you can start doing this just for funsies, and then if you start getting serious about it, there's a lot of cool tech you can learn that just kind of incrementally makes you better and faster at the game. And if you want to get really deep into some crazy techniques and glitches, I mean, the resources are there and the community is friendly.
Ooh, and quakes the chest.
That's... Oh, and he doesn't even check it. Loogaroo, just disrespecting chat. I love it.
But yeah, under comment about how approachable this is, yeah, this specific randomizer is very approachable. There are a lot of crazy randomizers that have just popped up in the recent time since, you know, like there were other randomizers before Zelda 3, but I don't think any of them took off as much as this did, outside of Super Metroid Randomizer.
Yeah, I definitely agree. As someone who plays other randomizers myself, Z3 was the one that got me into the community for sure, though. I saw this and saw what was possible. I'm like, wow, there's other randomizers, and but this one is just definitely really well done. It's got a little something for everybody, a lot of variety in game modes, pretty friendly community. It's just a good time. Oh, Loogaroo with a nice end to the Aghanim 2 there. Did not kick dirt in Aghanim's face like DT did. So that was, you know, a lot more respectful of Loogaroo. He doesn't need to defile the corpse of Aghanim.
Alright, let's see how Loogaroo handles Ganon here. The pressure's definitely off, but, I mean, you still want to finish with a good time, and I gotta say, you know, 2 hours and 30 minutes for a pedestal seed, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, that's definitely respectable, especially for a seed that had such a tight opening as this one did. Nothing's more fun than using cape and half magic when you are fighting Ganon. It just feels like cheating, and that's because it is. I didn't quite catch it, but I don't think Loogaroo used his blue potion, so he might get through all the way through this fight with never having needed it, which is always a good feeling, to know that you did not need it. Alright, opts not to take the first arrow, but really wants to secure that torch glitch. Can't say I blame him. Second arrow into Ganon, looking good. Oh no, fire bat. Ooh, the Matrix move dodges Loogaroo to avoid that fire bat. And
Still
the
gets him
fourth
down.
arrow
GG.
goes into
Just
Ganon.
pumping him full of arrows.
All right, and Loogaroo is going to sub 230 this seed
Beautiful.
with official SRL race time of 2 hours, 29 minutes, and 18 seconds. Let's get some GGs and some positive energy sent out to Loogaroo for handling what is, for definitely all means, just a troll seed.
Oh yeah, excellent execution, and you gotta applaud all the ballsy moves that Loogaroo did early game and even mid game without that lamp.
Yeah, that was he made the best out of the situation he was put into there. Not having a lamp for so long is always just brutal. All right, we're gonna see if we can't get Loogaroo in here for the interview.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, there you are, buddy. How's it going?
Are we live or not yet?
Nope, we are live, sir. GG, congratulations on the finish there. That was a troll seed for the books, I think.
Imagine, if you will, think back to like 7th grade gym class, and imagine that like the school bully just grabbed you by the scruff of the neck, shoved your head in the toilet, and then flushed it for 2 hours, 29 minutes, and 18 seconds. That's kind of how that seed ended up.
I'm not going to ask Lug how you know that that's what this equates to, but GG nonetheless, buddy.
Because I did the early pedestal check, so I had that information about the fire rod really quickly, and if I had the lamp earlier on, it probably would have gone a lot better.
Yeah, I'd say that missing out on the lamp was definitely something that hurt you this seed. Yeah, you did a pretty good job with the dark rooms that you did do, though, but that was just a lot of sunk time, unfortunately.
And then, ironically enough, I practiced blind for about 20 minutes before we started the race. The only thing I didn't do was I didn't practice it without the sword.
Yeah, I
So
certainly wouldn't have ever thought to practice it like that myself. That was the first time doing that.
I didn't realize this, but essentially when you have to go back in there for the rematch, he's so high up in the room that you really can't position yourself to hit him with the hammer.
Yeah, that makes
So
it
I
really,
ended
really
up
tough.
abandoning that and going back. And then Ice Palace was another serious mistake that I will never do again.
Oh yeah, we were hurting. We were feeling for you with that double mirror.
The thing is, it's like as soon as I opened that locked door, I said, wait a second. If I just beat Cold Stare, then come back in, I've got that key in hand that I can take care of those other chests. And then, and I never even practiced that bomb jump before, the one in the hookshot room, so I don't know what I was thinking there.
It is worth mentioning that your thought to go to Ice Palace was actually a really good one because of Ether being in there. So your routing to go there a little bit earlier than DT did was definitely a good idea, but unfortunately the double mirror did set you back.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that Ice Palace was pretty much the only location at that point that was completely open, so I figured let's just jump in there and give it a shot. It's just it was just pretty much poor decision on my part to try something that I'd never practiced before in a race setting, and probably would have saved myself a good 10 minutes had I not done that.
Yeah, I don't mean to cut out here, guys. I unfortunately have to go head off to work. So just want to say before I sign off, make sure you follow these two runners. They put on an amazing run. You're going to see more of both of them in the remainder of these Swiss matches. And a shout out to my excellent co-commentator, Files here. Had a lot of fun with you, buddy. A lot of good jokes. And can't wait to see you guys next time.
Thanks for commentating, Nennies.
All right,
Yeah,
thanks a lot.
friends.
I'm probably going to check out here in just a couple of seconds, but I do just want to say that the speed gaming community and the randomizer community are just awesome, and they are amazing, and they are so supportive and so encouraging. If you guys have never played this game before, give it a shot. Join the Discord. They will be so helpful in showing you the ropes and learning how to do this. I started playing this game like 9 months ago, and somehow managed to qualify for this tournament. So this is certainly something that everybody else can do.
I don't think anyone could have said that better than you. Better
Yeah,
than
that
the way
was
that was.
very well stated, and everything you said was totally true. This is a great community. If you're on the fence about wanting to join, just check out the Discord, check out the website. Download a seed on your own. Just play for fun. It is an absolute blast. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, guys. Any last final words, DT or Loogaroo, before we sign off here?
Just one final thought about the seed. Aside from the boots being annoying, I honestly thought that the hookshot was in one of the most trolly locations.
Yeah, actually, when I saw the hookshot in Turtle Rock where it was, I'm like, well, at least he's going to have to come in here before he goes into Swamp. Because I was actually thinking about going into Swamp early. But fortunately, that was not a decision I made, and at least I saved a little bit of time there.
Excellent. Well, well played, runners. Good luck in the rest of your Swiss brackets. Thanks for tuning in, Speed Gamers. This is, I believe, the last race on the channel for this evening, but there is going to be plenty more speed gaming action on this channel, more randomizers, especially more of this tournament as we progress further. Before we sign off, I'd like to give a big shout out to Feasel, who has been super courteous to give us space on his channel to show off our fun game and our fun community. So make sure you consider subscribing to Speed Gaming. There's some pretty cool flag emotes here, some cool stuff, so it really helps Feasel out. And thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next mission.
Hi, guys.